Gonk, 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 gonk.
Pray to the Force hard enough. Aaron will appear now. Shit. Well, that didn't work. I didn't believe hard enough. Actually, no. I need all of you to also just pray to the Force. Bring Aaron. Bring someone to talk to Eric about Star Wars. I don't know why it's not working. Hi, everybody. It's just me here right now. Aaron will be here in a second, but we are here with our Star Wars podcast, Badonkagonk, right here live at Star Wars Wave Squadron. Hello, everybody. How are you all this month? If this is the first time you've been here, this is our monthly Star Wars dedicated podcast that we are never late for, and that we always start on time. We never, ever leave a man behind. Anyway, while we wait for Aaron, I'm going to tell you about some of the stuff we got going on in this stream. Today, we're going to be focusing in on one Luke Skywalker, the one of the most important characters in the Star Wars franchise. We're going to be going over our top Luke Skywalker moments. We're going to be talking about, I think it's the third canon released novel in the Disney canon, Heir to the Jedi, which I'm very, very interested in talking to Aaron about because I have thoughts. But in the meantime, we can also talk about that we're probably going to be taking some questions at the end of podcast. As always, we always get to every single question, or at least we try to get to every single question. So you can always make sure that you get your questions in, and we will do that. Also, depending on how long it is until Aaron gets here, I can just take some now if you wanted to throw some out there. So, Soundscapes on YouTube says, excited for the next comic read. I am as well. The next one is the Kanan, the Last Padawan, which is being edited right now. Actually reminds me that I need to check in with my editor and see how they're doing because that's going to be releasing very, very, very soon. And then we're not going to be putting the brakes on that. We've finally found a way in the schedule to include more Star Wars weekly. So we've recorded a bunch of comic book stuff that's coming your way. Aaron and I also have recorded some Star Wars Unlimited content, where we opened up some of the card packs, and then most recently we filmed a video where we created some decks out of those card packs. So I cannot wait to continue with that more. I can't wait for you guys to check that out. It's really scratching an itch of, one, wanting a new trading card game to play, two, being able to collect cards and add to my Star Wars collection, and three, just a new piece of content that we can put out here for you guys. So those are going to be coming up also as soon as our editors are working on them. So is Aaron going to play Outlaws, or did the review bomber scare him off it? I think Aaron's kind of like me. He doesn't really care about reviews. He tends to just, well, I don't care what they say. I only care what I have to say. So I'm sure he'll get into that. But Aaron's a very busy man, and not only is he busy, he plays far more video games than I do, and I got all the time in the world to play games, so I don't know how he does it. We need to get Aaron on Outlaws so he can read the novel next year. There's going to be an Outlaws novel? That's cool. Have I heard about that? I don't know if I've heard about that one. But yeah, we got to get him on that. That's maybe something that he can just play at home, and then we can do a segment on the pod where we talk about it, because we haven't really had a chance to talk about it too much. I know that it wasn't necessarily the success that Ubisoft and Lucas film were looking for, but I quite enjoyed it. And you can watch my entire playthrough right here at Wave Squadron if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, you can just go to YouTube and watch it there too. Very fun game, really immersive world, and can't wait to talk about it more. The comic reads are probably some of my favorite blind with content. I agree, Soundscapes. I love doing that. Honestly, my favorite thing about it is literally just when there are scenes when none of the characters that I have are in it, and it's just Aaron and Calvin talking to each other. I love listening to my friends read comic books. Anyway, I'm going to stop saying nice things about them, because whenever Aaron actually shows up... Oh. Aaron, you shook the ship! Hey, Eric, do you remember the first Star Wars game you played growing up? And what do you remember about it? Super Star Wars, I think, is probably the first one I played. I think it was a Super Nintendo game, and I remember it being a side-scroller. But the first one that I fell in love with was probably Shadows of the Empire.
Oh, too late. We're done.
Oh, okay, well, you got here right at the end then, Aaron. Anyway, I was just doing a little vamping while you got your bag and prepared to show everybody what's inside, right?
Actually, yeah. Do you want it now?
I don't know. I was just
I never
improv-ing.
bring this down.
Yeah, you got a bag.
No,
Okay.
I brought something. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Badonkagonk. How
They've
you guys
been
doing?
welcome. Welcome. They should welcome you.
Oh, yeah. Welcome me.
Aaron, welcome to their stream.
How's everyone doing?
I
Good?
think they're doing pretty good. They're all
Good.
excited. A lot of people were talking about how Aaron needs to play Outlaws so that we can read the novel coming out next year.
Oh, there's
Or
a novel coming
I'm
out?
going to say a related novel, so you're going to have to get on that at some point and play some Star Wars Outlaws.
I've thought about I'm trying to get my internet fixed in my house to where it works more consistently.
Yeah.
I could just stream straight to Wave Squadron while I play it and just like
You could. You
do
could
that as an extra thing that
Yeah.
isn't normally in the schedule just because I want to play it. But I've thought about streaming it, but I don't know when I'm going to stream
That
it.
doesn't sound
but
like something people would want.
I could do it on Wave Squadron and just have it as like a bonus stream that I do while I play in my kind of like free time.
Which you have so much of.
So much.
I was just saying, like, well, Aaron doesn't have a lot of free time, and he also plays far more games than I do, and I have all the free time.
I have. We just had vacation, and I was like, man, I don't feel like I vacated very much.
You didn't vacate very much?
No, we
Yeah?
did go to Kings Island, but other than that,
Ooh, you went to Kings Island. That's
Yeah.
cool. Okay. Kings Island, if you don't know, is a fantastic theme park here in Ohio. Ohio has a bunch of really awesome theme parks.
Mhm.
Yeah. Cedar
Yeah.
Point. They have Six Flags there, too, right? Or at least we did.
no,
Shit. I don't
just
know.
Cedar Point and Kings Island for sure. I don't think there's Six Flags in Ohio anymore.
Yeah.
I think the closest one's in Michigan, Maybe.
Michigan, we're not going there.
maybe Pennsylvania.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, there's definitely one up by Chicago though.
Chicago.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
not in Ohio either though.
Okay. Aaron, you're holding a bag.
Yeah. Did we tell everyone what we're doing today? What kind of
I
did you
did.
talk about? All
I
the
talked
stuff?
about Luke Skywalker related stuff, including top moments, including Heir to the Jedi, and I also asked for questions, which they started to come in. But
Okay.
We'll take more.
We'll do more
questions
later.
Later.
So I have been saying I was gonna bring something at one point, like for the last like 2 or 3 Badonkonks, and I kept
Okay.
forgetting it. And this time I brought it and I put it in my bag,
You brought a thing.
and then I forgot my bag upstairs. I go back up and go get that. But
Okay.
this is I know you like collecting and stuff.
What?
And,
Don't
and
be ridiculous. I don't
my
like that at all.
what are you doing with that? What?
I didn't know how long I had to vamp.
And I didn't know my brother-in-law, like I don't know where they got this or how they've been doing things, but like he likes to sell stuff on eBay and things too, and he had this thing and he was like, hey, I think maybe you'd like this,
Okay.
and he gave it to me and I didn't know what it was.
You don't know what it is.
So I thought at first I'd show you
Okay.
and see if you've ever heard of it or if you know anything about it, and then I would tell you what I have learned about it,
Oh.
and maybe other people would learn some stuff too about something Star Wars related.
This sounds fantastic. I feel like an archaeologist or something. Like, ooh, what do you have?
So this is
Uh,
this Yoda plush.
okay. Look at the Yoda plush.
This is, I guess he's a plush. I mean, he's got a harder
He's
head.
got a hard head, but
But
soft hands.
He's
and-
in
and
pretty good
feet.
condition. Here, I'll give it
Okay.
to you, and you can read also his little hand there.
Okay, so on his left hand, he has a tag. It says, George Lucas Super Live Adventure.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know if you,
1992, Lucasfilm Limited.
have you ever heard of. Does that sound familiar to you at
No,
all? Because he gave me
no.
this, and I'm like, "What is this?" I'm like, "That's Yoda." Okay, I know
Okay.
Star Wars.
It's definitely Empire Strikes Back Yoda, I would say, at least modeled off after that model.
Yes.
It says produced by Kenner Felt, so Kenner they would have had the license in the 90s.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, for coming out in the 90s. You can smell its age. I
Does
like
it smell old?
Yep. I like when you
Like
smell its age.
I looked up on eBay, and there's some of these on eBay. Some of them
Okay.
are still in like a bag that
Yeah.
they came in, I guess. But This came from the George Lucas Super Live Adventure.
Super Live Adventure.
From what I understand and what I looked up into this, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard about this or not, but it is a theater show that was in Japan in 1993.
Okay.
So this theater show, I don't think it did well enough. It never made it to the U.S.,
All right.
but it was the George Lucas Super Live Adventure, not like Star Wars specifically. So it went through Star Wars, Indiana Jones, American Graffiti, Willow, and something called Tucker Man and His Dream, which I don't know what that is.
Oh, I've never heard of that before.
I don't know what that one is.
Tucker Man.
But it was like an adventure, like an original story with like a girl who was like traveling into all these worlds, trying to like find like confidence or power within herself or something along those lines. Like, but it was a theater like 2-hour performance or something like that.
Okay.
That they had in Japan. And I had never heard about that. And when I saw this, I was like, you know what? I bet Eric has never seen this.
Never.
I've never heard of the George Lucas Super Live Adventure.
No, I didn't know he did like a Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
on
so
stage.
it was something new that I'd never heard about,
Very cool.
and I thought I'd bring it in. There are some clips on YouTube that you can find and like see some glimpses of things. They kind of have like some Temple of Doom stuff in there with like the bridge scene or the I don't know if it's American Graffiti or if it's Temple of Doom or both, but like that dance showgirl kind of location in the beginning of Temple of Doom. It reminded me of that a little bit.
The
like
Club Obi-Wan.
I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
But like,
Oh yeah, that you wouldn't need. Do they have subtitles or anything?
no, because it was all a theater show, and a lot of it's like just people filming it back then.
Okay.
But like, I'll tell you one thing: I heard like Japanese Darth Vader in that, and he sounded kind of cool. it was like this Darth Vader, like, and it was really neat. So yeah, it was kind of
does
cool.
sound
But there's some clips and stuff online if anyone wants to like look into it. I don't know if anyone in chat has ever heard of this before or anything,
Yeah.
but I thought it was kind of cool. So now I have this, and it's been sitting at my house for like months. And I was like, oh, I need to bring that in and show it. I need to bring it in and show it. And I've never brought it in.
He's got his hunchback.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little chungus.
He is.
You know, he had a little bit more stew than I think he probably should have. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is cool.
He gets big eating food of that kind.
Yeah. Ooh, the felt goes all the way up. Okay.
Yeah, I saw on eBay
when I get something like this, the first thing I immediately do is like, what's under here?
what's under here. I saw some
Okay.
versions that had like the robe falling apart that were like a lot older and stuff too.
Yeah?
But I'm like, man, this one's in fairly decent condition considering. I don't know if he got it from garage sale or like where exactly he found this.
So I'm not saying this would happen, or this is going to happen, but let's say he gave it to you and then you're like, oh, I'm going to go look and see what this is. And it's worth like, in this condition, it's worth like $25,000.
I could give him 1,000. You get a finder's fee.
I was wondering where like it would go. Like, would you give him more? Would you keep some?
No, I mean, I've looked at it and I think it like could go for 100 or something maybe, but it didn't look like it was like super coveted or anything. But
Okay, gotcha.
it seemed kind of rare because I had never heard of it or anything before. So
Gotcha. Gregory was saying donate it to the new George Lucas Museum, but maybe it's not as rare as we thought.
no, they might already have one. I don't know.
Well, it's got to be pretty rare because I personally have never seen one. No, never. And especially that tag.
Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, oh, I wonder if it's like from an older celebration or something like that. And then I looked at them like, what's this super live like?
Interesting
adventure?
that it's in the tag is in English.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Never knew this was a thing. Are you looking up stuff, Nexus? Do you see things on YouTube about it?
Oh, Next is looking some stuff up.
1992, yeah. I don't know. But yeah, there's nothing else on the other side or nothing. But I was also surprised it still had its tag from 92, you know?
They're saying that it looks like Ghost Yoda with the blue-green screen bleed through because we do have a... We don't. We are really in space.
It is a Ghost Yoda. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's a Ghost Yoda. It's super rare. It's a variant. Absolutely.
Variant,
Yeah.
But no, that was my extra little thing I wanted to bring and talk about today and just kind of show you guys. So.
Gotcha. That's really cool.
And show Eric, because I know Eric loves like toys and Star Wars collectibles and stuff like that too. And
not only do I love stuff I haven't seen, I love hearing the history behind it, and that's something I never knew about. So everything you don't know is an opportunity to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool.
So there we go. Starting off with stuff that people don't know. Well, we can get into some more things that maybe people don't know, or things that people do know. Who knows?
We can do either of those.
Because I don't know.
Yeah.
I know.
What would you like to do?
I I don't know. We could go into the book, I suppose. Talk
Heir to
about
the
that
Jedi?
a little bit. Heir to the Jedi,
Okay.
and then I know we have our list as well.
Yeah.
And
I can
then
never remember
take
if
whatever
we,
questions we don't.
I can never remember if we decided, like, are we doing 5 or 10? I end up just picking, like, 14.
I have like 6-ish.
Okay, well, later we're going to be doing our top 5 Luke Skywalker moments.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah. What do you got there on your drink there, buddy?
I don't know. It's
Is that your
Labubu?
Prince Abubu?
It's La Blubu.
La Blue
That's
Blue?
what I called it yesterday.
Ah.
People here at Blind Wave and also on the Wave Riders got me.
They got you
this
that.
Labubu because I didn't know what it was on
Yeah.
Pokemon.
I've been noticing it slap your face slightly every time you take a drink today.
Yeah, I just got it last night, so it's just
I
he's
wanted
just
to be like,
chilling
well,
there.
just-
I was like, I'll put him here for a little bit, but not. He might not stay there for long. So
you
yeah.
could like tie him up like against it, like he's a captive on a ship or
Help.
something. Yeah.
So yeah, that's my Labubu.
Hmm.
No, he's not a Bebo.
It's not a Bebo. All right, well, we're going to be going into Heir to the Jedi,
Heir to the Jedi.
A book that takes place between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, but a little closer to A New Hope. This very much, Aaron, was a book that featured the Episode 4, A New Hope, Luke Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
And most interesting, I think this is the first time we've covered it. I'm not sure if you have. Have you ever read a first-person book before?
First person book before?
Yeah. So this was this was coming as if it was Luke himself.
Sure. We
telling
didn't really
the
jump
story.
to anyone else or anything.
Yeah.
It was all kind of Luke's perspective of things, talking about what he's seeing.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't.
Like, I don't think we've done it on the channel.
Mace Windu wasn't first person, right?
No, the Glass Abyss. Shatterpoint had like a couple sections that were first person, but I think it's our first full first person canon novel. Nexus says. I remember one of my favorite EU books, I, Jedi, was first person, and that was Koran Horn in Luke's new Jedi Order.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that was I remember that. I remember I really liked it there. This one, how did you feel about it? About Heir to the Jedi?
I think it was fine. Like, there was some stuff I liked in it.
Yeah.
But, like, overall, some of the stuff it did, I don't think added to too much over other. Like, there's a few things that I'm like, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah.
But I think there's been other books that we've read where I'm like, oh, man, this really helps to add to, like, this movie or this or that. But there's some things I really like in this. I kind of like him, his progression, like, messing with the Force, not knowing what to do, like trying
Noodling around with the Force.
the noodling
got some
and
noodles.
forking things up, and just like trying a Jedi mind trick and things like that. Because as of the movies, without anything in between, you have he trusts the Force, Luke, and he shoots the Death Star, blows it up, and okay, well, he used the Force there, and then the next thing you see is we're on Hoth, and he pulls a lightsaber,
Yeah.
so you don't ever see anything in between. And here he moves a noodle a little bit, and I was like, well, that's cool. I like to see that he's like, he must have messed around a little bit, not just like, oh man, what am I gonna do, Wampa here? You know what? There's something called the Force. Let me just, please, Saber, please. Like,
Yeah, it very much feels like a Luke Skywalker desperate for a mentor, and because he doesn't have one, he kind of has to just figure stuff out a little bit and grow that way.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he also kind of does it a little bit with some support of like this new supporting character, which this morning I looked in. We have a chat, and Nexus sometimes will be like, "Hey, here's a picture of someone from the book, so that you can do." And I looked, and I was like, "Oh, hey, that's what she looks like." And then I was like, "Oh, no wonder." I was like, "I get it."
You get it, huh? Yeah. No, I actually had seen that before I even started the book when Nexus sent it, so I had that picture in my head as we were picturing
Nakinda?
Nakari.
Nakari.
That's
Khalid. Nakari.
Yeah. This book, I kind of agree. I was just kind of, it's okay. Like, it didn't blow me away. I wasn't like bored or anything, but it did what it needed to do, which was entertain me for a couple hours a day during our week off while I did some yard work, and I enjoyed it for that. But it's probably not something I'm ever going to put on a list of like my top Luke Skywalker moments or anything like that.
Sure,
you
yeah.
know?
No, I don't. It was there was some moments I liked of the connections they had. There was a video game-esque moment, I thought, where he is flying from point A to point B, and on the way, he's like, hey, look, this ship's in trouble. Oh, man, they're TIE fighters. Well, hey, if the TIE fighters don't like him, then I'm probably okay with him.
Yeah.
And he helps him, and then later on, it comes back where it's like, hey, didn't you help this ship? That was my son. Here. You know, like, it was like, hey,
Sure,
you
I
do this
get you.
random side quest, and
Yeah.
it kind of pays off later on. And I thought that was kind of like a neat little like connection between versus just showing Luke being good, but also having some kind of extra payoff later on.
Sure.
But as far as like Luke's mindset and everything in this, I thought some of that was interesting. Getting to like hear his inner thoughts, his turmoil, his what he understands the Force to be now, and what he, looking into wanting to be a Jedi. Some people they're much quieter about it because they don't want to talk about it. But some other people are like, "Oh, hey, Jedi, yeah, sure. You know, here, take the lightsaber." Like there's some people that are a little bit more supportive of it, and I like that he's trying to find his place in this galaxy with the knowledge of his ancestry. I guess So
No, I get you. It's the thing about like first-person stories like this, where it's like you're primarily only looking at it from this point of view. In third-person stories, you can get glimpses into characters' minds, but you can do it with any character or all characters. The author is a little more omnipresent in that sense, which I feel like maybe matches the Star Wars feel a bit more. Whereas here, this felt a little bit more intimate of a story being told. So yeah, definitely smaller in scope and introspective of the character.
and it gives him another love interest that isn't Leia.
Yeah.
Because we had that one
Absolutely.
kiss already, and we're like,
Yeah.
hopefully that doesn't go too far, like in the in-between times or
Yeah.
nothing.
No, I when I was reading the book, I kept getting these senses of like, why does this feel like an old EU continuity book?
Did it?
It
I don't know a
really
lot
did.
of EU books.
One
so-
of the tropes of the old EU is like Luke has, up until Mary Jade obviously was the big one, but there would always be like, and we'll throw in a love interest for Luke, and then they're gone by the end of the thing, and that held true with this. Another thing is I kept recognizing a couple of the settings and stuff, and going like, man, this stuff really feels like the old EU, because the old EU would always reference the what were they called? The tabletop RPG books back in the day. Like I would buy those books just to learn about Star Wars, but authors and publishers would also refer to them because they were the easiest way to get all the details.
Sure. Get an idea of an alien or
Yeah.
something and what to put in your book, or a planet that
Yeah.
you want to go to.
And while the new canon will sometimes go back and recanonize that stuff, this one really felt like, oh, wow, it really is doing that. And it was later, after I finished the book, and we talked about it earlier today, that I learned that this was actually made to be in the old EU canon. And then it's actually the third released book since
Yeah.
the Disney era.
Third release since the Disney
Yeah.
era? Okay.
So in 2014, and then there was what? A New Dawn, I think, was the first one. I can't remember what the second one was, and then Heir to the Jedi released
Gotcha.
third.
Something I had looked into was that this was also of the
Tarkin was second.
Tarkin.
Yeah.
The Legends books, this was also the third of like a trilogy of like Rebellion, but they weren't like super connected together. They were kind of
loose
like
trilogy.
like a loose trilogy or anthology kind of stories.
Okay.
But those two are in Legends, and then this one is in canon.
Yeah, from what I understand, the story group or whatever, had some notes, and they altered some things so that it could fit into the new continuity. But like I said, I kept getting these like feelings of like, that's kind of like the old EU. You don't really see that in new canon, but it's because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Tarkin was kind of the same as that as well.
Was
where
it being
was
worked on
kinda
as
neat.
Legends
Yeah,
at
I
first
think
and then
so.
turned into canon?
Yeah.
The other thing I liked a lot on this about Luke was the end of the book.
Mhm.
There was a moment of him talking about grief and not being able to let it hit. Like he talked about having like Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, and then like they just kind of went, like gotta go save the princess,
immediately
and
had
then
to
he
leave.
lost Obi-Wan, and then it was like, okay, we gotta escape, and then we fight our way off, and then you get to the Battle of Yavin, and then like from there
You
he
lose
started,
Biggs,
yeah, he lost Biggs there. He started doing other missions and stuff
Porkins.
too.
I mean,
Yeah, sure. Porkins, yeah, that was but he has a moment where he loses someone here, and he like it all kind of he has a moment to not have to hurry,
Yeah.
and everything kind of catches up to him, and he lets himself like just mourn for a minute.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that one was interesting because like we don't get that in the movies at any point.
We don't have time.
The most we get is when he runs up and you see the skeleton. He's just kind of like staring, and then like he drives back and he's like, "There's nothing left for me here." Like there's not a lot of mourning.
Not a lot.
He's down.
Yeah, you get a little bit of like Leia puts the cover over him, and he's like, "I can't believe Ben's gone." He's sad, and Leia's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I just lost billions of my people." But
my planet
old
gone.
guy you knew for 2 weeks. Yeah, it sucks.
and then you get hey, we're not out of this yet. Hurry up and grab a gun.
And then you have to just go.
And there's
I got one.
Yeah. So there's not a lot of time with that, but I did enjoy that aspect of it.
Sure.
But I also, I kind of like Nakari. I got a chance to kind of re-listen. I got about halfway through again on my second listen.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And I remember listening in the beginning when you first meet her, like she's showing you the ship. That's really awesome.
Yep, the Desert Jewel.
Yeah, it's like a big crescent. Has like nice. It's just a nice looking ship.
It's a yacht. Yeah,
but it's also got like speed behind it where it can like outrun some stuff. But she had a thing she said where talking about like what weapon she uses or something like that, and she talks about like bagged a crate dragon, and I was like, yeah, right. What do you mean? I was like, what do you mean you bagged, like your daddy get you a crate dragon or something?
It was
like,
only 4 weeks old, but I got it.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, but then
it's a slug thrower that she uses.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
But then by the end of the book, and like so many times of like her sniping and stuff and taking people out, I'm like, you know what? She's pretty good. Maybe she did get that crate dragon. Maybe she was, because the first time I hearing that, I was thinking about Mandalorian, and I was like, that thing is big, man. What do you mean? But yeah, like,
even the one in
little ones
KOTOR
or something,
pretty big stuff.
Yeah, they're all usually pretty big. So I was kind of like, did you? But now I believed it after going through the whole book.
Yeah. Well, maybe the crate dragon in Mando was like an exceptionally giant one.
Maybe. This is the smaller one or something like that. That's possible.
Okay.
Some crate dragons are smaller than others. Yeah, I could see that. Like it's any animal. There's some animals like, man, that's a big whatever. It's alpha Pokemon,
Yeah, right. I did like them like kind of bonding over the fact they're both from desert planets.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what did you do? I was a moisture farmer. It was boring.
Yeah.
They did have is it a Legends thing where like every once in a while, like, what is it? Like, oh man, I always look forward to whenever I had to go to the Tashi station to pick up
endless
power converters. Oh, and he's like sad thinking about like, I never picked up my last shipment.
Yeah,
and I was like,
funny that he's
all right.
forgot. Yeah.
But
no, a constant references to the things
Okay.
Which kind of, this one has like, I'm Luke Skywalker. Yeah, that Luke Skywalker. That blew up the Death Star, like, but I mean, he's going to be braggadocious a little bit as a young guy.
That's a big deal anyway, right?
Absolutely.
Like, look what you did.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, I did like, I thought they were going to stick around a little bit more. I kind of like the skull borers.
Yeah, those were pretty cool. Eat your brains.
Yeah, we go to a planet, and we first noticed them from a video that like Nakari's dad, I think it is, that shows, because you guys got to go on this mission, you got to go do this, and here's this video so you can know what you're doing.
Fayette was his name.
Fayette
Kaleen.
And they the video is like first person like helmet cams or something like that, and you see a soldier like wiggle, and then he just starts like freaking out, and we learn that there's like these camouflage / invisible kind of cloaked creatures, like maybe like drop bears, right? The drop bears in Australia, because they're definitely real.
Yep, 100% real.
100% real. Australia's a scary place. They're definitely real things. They're not. But the idea of these things dropping from like the trees and landing on their victims, they have like porcupines like things, so you can't just touch them or you'll bleed, and they bust into your skull and suck out your brains. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like this is awesome. It's like a scary thing.
It's very scary.
And I was like, man, you don't get a lot of horror in Star Wars sometimes. That's why I was so excited to do like Death Troopers and stuff. And I'm like, dude, these are cool things. And it went on, like that scene was kind of scary, and then we had a little bit of it with Luke and Nakari. Not too much though. I was kind of hoping to have more of that. I
felt the same. I got to that point, I'm like, all right, we're kind of like kicking off now. All right, hell yeah, and then it kind of slowed back down.
And then they talked about how smart they were, and like one jumped on top of another one so that you couldn't stun the one that was trying to get your brains and stuff.
Do you think they get smarter the more brains they eat?
Maybe,
because brains are where your smarts are.
Yeah,
which is a really smart statement.
And depending what kind of creature's brains you eat, right? Like if you get like a squirrel's brains or something, it might not be as much as if you get like a human's brains or a, I don't know. Is there like a smart Star Wars alien?
What are Gabriel Poof is smart because he has 2 brains.
What are the one guys in this that are like you greet them with math problems?
Oh yeah, the Given.
The Given?
Given. Yeah.
Like
do you know what a Given is?
No.
How do I describe it? It's like the Beetlejuice alien from A New Hope. Do you remember?
The
do you remember what they look
Beetlejuice
like?
alien.
Yeah, let me.
From A New Hope.
Yeah. But Gonk might be able to find an image too.
Squirrels catching strays. Did you say something about squirrels
Nexus
earlier?
immediately sent one.
A Given?
But yeah, they look like this. They're like kind of like droopy skulls.
This is kind of creepy.
That's
looking.
what a Given looks like.
Okay.
Absolutely. So
that's in
yeah,
A New
they're
Hope?
really it's somewhere. I'm pretty sure, guys. There's a Given live action, right? I thought so. I mean, I recognize the species.
I don't know what this is from, but I found this.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that from A New Hope?
from A New Hope. Yeah,
Okay.
it's one of those.
That's a creepy looking thing.
It's one of those masks that they kind of had on the shelf when they're like,
I
hey.
get why you say Beetlejuice now. I was thinking of Beetlejuice, not.
Gonk, gonk.
Yes.
No, I mean like when they're doing
This
the
thing.
Oh, thank you, Gonk. Yeah, when they're doing
when they
like their-
stretch out their
yeah.
nose and.
It's So when I'm thinking of a Given in my head, I'm going like the Beetlejuice alien. There we go. That's what they
Okay.
look like.
Yeah, so you see these weird skull creatures
And then immediately
and go like, "What's the matrices of
yeah, you gotta do math. Oh,
1 squared,
I would-
3,
I would
7?"
run from these guys.
I love the time whenever they say something to Luke and he's like, 3?
Yeah, but
Uh-huh.
the Givens when they greet each other, they do so with math problems.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
not
Yeah.
a lot of math in Star Wars. Trying
No.
to think times when like math is being done.
Have we had salt and pepper before? Is that a Star Wars thing? Because in this book, I don't know why I thought it was weird, but it's not necessarily weird.
Yeah,
But they had the noodle thing when they were getting the Rancor sauce, like in that
the
that
Rancor
time.
sauce. Yeah,
They like go to a table and they're like, "Hey, you mind if we sit with you?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh no, it's okay. We're leaving. We're done." He's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh man, this table has a lot of salt and pepper."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Salt and pepper, is that common for them?"
Well, I was going to look it up, but 100% they have salt because that's in The Last Jedi. Salt. So yes, it's in a movie.
True. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So what is that? Crate.
Great. Yeah.
Crate.
Last Jedi.
Crate has salt, and then does any pepper show up in Star Wars? I immediately think of things like the dinner that Vader has Han and Leia come to. Was there pepper in that? I can't think of any. Anakin and Padme have a dinner on Naboo, and I'm pretty sure there might be some salt and pepper shakers there.
See, but my thing is always like, okay,
Mhm.
there are shakers of spices,
Yeah.
but are they salt and pepper? You know what I mean?
One is definitely salt.
It's like how, like, I guess the reason it's called salt or pepper
Yeah.
was kind of weird to me when you have like, I mean, you have milk, I guess, but blue milk. You have calf, right? Not
have calf.
coffee, but calf,
Calf.
right? Like it's the same idea, but a different name. And I just expected it to be like that, I guess, where it's like, oh, we got salt and peps. I don't know. Like,
This just says Pepper first canonically appears in the 2015 novel Heir to the Jedi.
oh, really?
Pepper was
Okay.
first mentioned in a Shadows of the Empire source book
Hey, you were talking about Shadows of the Empire
published
earlier.
by West End Games. So yeah, there's like some instances of people saying pepper, though they're including just peppers, not just
Peppers.
like black ground pepper
Gotcha.
or something.
Next it
And-
says Pepper appears in Light of the Jedi, Queen's Shadow, Queen's Hope, and
Yeah.
Jedi Survivor.
Sure, yeah, I have some of those on this list too. But again, the picture for this one is just like peppers as opposed to, but it might be, and he might be correct. I don't know.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, I don't think any Star Wars dedicated channel has ever talked about this. So
Salt and pepper?
we are mavericks proving the facts about salt and pepper in Star Wars.
It was just one of those things where I was like, huh, I've never thought about that, you know? Like, they don't have chess, right? They have, I don't know, like that game that's on the Falcon, the Jarek?
the Jarek.
They have, like, stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
I always felt like, oh, it's similar to,
I
but
get
not
you.
exactly, you know?
Like They have, I think they're called Orbex in episode 9, like the weird horses that they put like prosthetics over and stuff to make look like aliens.
Yeah.
But then they also just have horses like pulling Padme's funeral in episode 3.
Yeah.
Just straight up
Like
horses.
big Clydesdale.
I think
things.
duck. There's just some ducks in Naboo. What's that? Is that like a special species? No.
It's a space duck.
Wikipedia, duck. It is
Space duck.
quack. Yeah, space duck.
Space duck. Aaron's weird gray Japanese Yoda and Pepper. All these are getting noted as socials.
I did have my Darth Vader hot sauce. That would have been made from pepper.
Yeah. Okay. Darth Vader hot sauce was pretty good too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys didn't see that. We had like a heat wave thing. It was
And
pretty cool.
Grease uses salt in Jedi
When he's just shaking for a long
Fallen
time.
Order, just forever, He's using salt there. I'm sure he has pepper in there as well.
Okay. Like I said before, I guess I never thought about them being salt unless they called it salt.
Yeah.
I would have just thought of like they could have called it anything,
Whipster might have some salt and pepper too.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
I don't know. Anyway, that was just a thought I had whenever I was listening. That was the second time when I was going through and I got there again. I was like, salt and pepper.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Huh.
Okay. They did reference. I don't know. Maybe this is because of Legends too, but they referenced about in the Rhodian stuff.
Mm.
I noted down about like talking about I think it was for Kenobi, talking about them like helping a kidnapped child, and I thought of Clone Wars.
Yeah. The little babies that Palpatine are taking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, whenever they were taking the future Force users and stuff like that too, and they mentioned that, and I thought of that for Clone Wars, and I was like, oh, that's cool. But once again, that might be like that Legends. Let's make sure we acknowledge some different things and make it connect more or something. So
Sure, I get you.
but I thought that was a neat little thing to toss in there,
Yeah,
especially helping to give some connection to like Skywalker and Kenobi to Luke.
Yeah.
Who doesn't think there's any Jedi he's ever going to meet to help him learn anything.
I didn't write it down because I'm like, there's no way I'll forget that. But I forgot right now. Jancy and I had not too long ago watched the episode of Clone Wars where the Tals are on that like ice planet and the Pantorans are trying to like stop them or whatever.
Yeah.
That ice planet is the ice planet that the Rebellion are like around in the beginning of the book.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember what it's called right now though.
They named it too. I don't remember the
named,
name
yeah.
for it. Whenever I remember,
But I heard it. I was like, oh, hey, I know that one. I won't forget that. And I forgot.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't remember them saying the name, but whenever
Plutonia.
whenever they said about it, I was like, oh, is this Hoth?
Yeah,
Like that's
right?
my first
Yeah.
thought. I'm like, man, that's what they went straight there, I guess. Huh?
No, it's the other ice planet you've seen.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So yeah, there's another little connection in there as well.
That's cool. Okay. So a couple Clone Wars like
Yeah.
nods then. That's cool.
Which Clone Wars, came out while Legends was still a thing. Actually, when Clone Wars, as it was coming out, it was kind of like chipping away at the confidence people had, where it's like, we're just kind of like glossing over canon now with these new episodes.
Oh,
Like even Peel had
like
he had
EU
like
books.
like he had like a very clear death, and then they just did a whole new death, and the Clone Wars stuff like that happened all the time. And then now we don't have to worry about that now because Clone Wars just kind of got put up to G level or is G level canon. In the new canon, you don't have those issues anymore. But those issues were hard on the fandom back.
Is
in
it
the
G
day.
level because of George?
Yeah, I would say so.
And is it like what's the next level down?
Well, I don't know about now. That used to be a thing in the old EU. There were levels of canon because things absolutely contradicted. And which one do you go with? It's like, well, there's a hierarchy of if it comes from a movie, it's
G?
gospel. It's G. Yeah,
It's
G
George.
is gospel.
And then it's
you
F.
would go from there.
And then it's EU.
Yeah, pretty much. And it was very top down in that regard. But not to say that there's not contradictions or problems in the new canon, but it's far less common. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. Like Shakti.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Shock T.
Yeah. How'd she die?
Yep.
I was upset because I wanted to hear. There was a part when was it Nakari?
Mhm.
I think it was. Someone in the book was talking about like relationship to people in a band,
Oh yeah.
like the Fruit Toodles or something like that.
The Fruit Toodles. They got
And they got like in trouble by Darth Vader because they sang a song. I was like, man, I want to hear the song, but it was called Vader's Mini Prosthetic Parts. And I was like, dude, is it like a Weird Al song about like, like what is this? I really wanted to hear what that song was and what it was about. Like, kind of made me think of Toad from the old Super Mario Brothers movie, right?
Yeah.
And he like gets arrested because he's singing like anti-Koopa songs.
Yeah, no, I mean that's one of the hallmarks of fascism is whenever authoritarians start coming down on expressions of art.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's not good.
Yeah, I would want to hear that as well. They sent him to the spice mines of Kessel.
The spice
I think,
mines
I'm
of
pretty
Kessel.
sure that's what they said. Yep.
That's crazy.
Taco Draslip and the Tootle Fruits.
The Tootle Fruits. That's what it was. Okay, Tootle Fruits. I don't even know what a Toot Fruitle is.
Right?
A Tootle Fruit is. Or
I'm trying to think of all the Star Wars bands I know. There's Figure and Dan and the Modal Nodes. What's the name of the parade music at the end of episode 1 has like a band name associated with that music. But
Oh, does it?
I can't think of it right now. But there are some decent.
The one you named was from the Cantina, right?
Yeah.
There's also a band, and I can't think what it's called, but in KOTOR, there was a band that was similar to
Yeah.
them, but it was named differently
It was
as well.
named something else. Yeah. Yeah. There's a decent amount out there. Yep, they were sent to the spice mines of Kessel days after the song released.
Oh, man, what's this mean?
Oh, the real Red 5. That's a good point. He said, I'm a little bit behind, but in Andor, Skeen's brother had pepper trees that the Empire flooded. Now,
Oh.
despite the fact that he actually didn't have a brother, that was all a lie. I don't have a brother. Pepper trees are probably a thing because I mean, that's how you get lies in. You sandwich them between trees.
I wouldn't like, what's a pepper tree?
Yeah,
You never
doesn't
heard
make
of
any
it.
sense. He doesn't have a brother. They shoot him. No, that doesn't happen. And of course, the Max Rebo band. Yeah, from episode 6.
Max Rebo band.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. Max Rebo.
Yep.
Okay. So pepper
So
trees.
ice noodles. And
But
Max
once
Rebo
again,
band.
though, that may be more of like red peppers, green
Sure.
peppers, not like what you use to make like a black pepper.
Mhm.
Peppercorns, right? Funny enough, that is listed in Pepper's Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
Star Wars Andor, The Axe
Axe
Forgets. Okay.
I just rewatched that episode during vacation, or
Right.
that arc.
Oh, really?
Yep, I love that arc.
I also I always like hearing thoughts on the Jedi, especially after the events of Episode 3. One of my favorite things talking when we talked about the collector, the Force collector,
Mhm.
was what people believe about the Jedi, especially after the events.
Definitely.
What was the other book we read? The other book we read was with Mon Mothma and like Bail Organa and him trying to find.
What was it Mask of Fear? The Mask of Fear, something else.
That one had Bail like trying to prove that the Jedi were good and that the Emperor set them up and that they weren't, guilty of all this treason and stuff. And it kind of turned into like what will that get us and what will we gain?
Sure.
And I'm like, so that leads more into why people just, they didn't fight for it. And it makes sense why what's it going to do for me to fight for these people that are dead?
Yeah.
Right now, like we're being oppressed by the Empire. Here you get into the point of talking more about like, kind of the legend of the Jedi a little bit with Luke and some different people, whether it's Nakari or this Rodian with like an Uncle Jedi or some different things.
Huluk was the Jedi's name.
Huluk.
That they just like, I knew your dad or something like that.
Yeah, he knew Skywalker.
Knew Skywalker.
Great
and
pilot.
Kenobi, yeah.
But I think it was with Nakari talking about like the information and like maybe the Jedi, like maybe there's a little bit where they were kind of bad, but they weren't strictly oath keepers and different things. But then they also kind of laugh a little bit about being like, wait, so you mean the stopping of information isn't good for us or whatever it was, like whether not all the information is being let out and no one knows really what's true because they're being fed what the Emperor wants them to be fed and stuff. And
Absolutely.
I'm like, it makes more sense, especially the further and further you go. Here we're 18, 19 years later, like looking into like, well, who are the Jedi as opposed to the, Force Collector wasn't, well, I guess Force Collector was further, right?
Yeah.
Closer, Return of the Jedi after Return of the Jedi,
That's
maybe
like
it was.
the Force Awakens era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that was even further away. And then we have like Bail Organa and that like right after it happened.
Yeah.
So like we're just getting some different times of like where the legend is at as we kind of have different progressions of it. I find that to be interesting a little bit.
Very interesting.
Because me as a watcher, I'm like, the Jedi were good. Did you not? Did you look? Look what happened. Did you see? And it's like, well, yeah, but the Emperor got rid of information, and eventually people. It's a wide, wide galaxy. You can't know everything,
Well, I mean, they take control of the HoloNet, and they come down on journalists. So
Yeah.
you would imagine there's probably a lot of information stored and videos that, like, it's harder in our world than it was 50 years ago because now everybody has a camera and can upload evidence and that type of thing, and it's harder to stamp down. But
that's
what you do now is you just flood everything with misinformation, and now no one can believe anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. And that's just one planet.
Yeah, that's just one.
Let alone trying to learn what happened on another planet that you've never been to or anything. Yeah. And the Chancellor started rising to power under legal terms and started slowly transitioning to the point that when he could become emperor, things had already kind of started swaying in his favor to begin with. So, so anyway, no, it's just interesting to watch and see.
Yeah. We got to have Major Bryn Durlin in here briefly as one of the rebels, and I'm always happy when he pops up because he is in The Empire Strikes Back. He's the guy that comes up to Leia and is like, there's nothing else we can do. We got to close these doors. And he's played by John Ratzenberger, who, if you've ever seen Cheers, he's in Cheers. He's the voice of Mr. Potato Head in Toy Story. So
is he the one who's in like every Pixar one?
I think so.
Is he the one?
He's in a lot of them.
Okay, I'm trying to pick. There's someone who's like in like almost every Pixar thing. He has a voice. Like he's like, welcome to the Himalayas, like in Monsters Inc.
Yeah, okay.
And he's also like
a Pixar man. So yeah, it's him.
It's Pixar man. Okay, yeah.
So yeah, he had like 2 lines in Empire Strikes Back, and it's just anytime he pops up in anything, I just always like to, hey, it's him.
That's cool. I didn't realize it was him in Empire.
Him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you find that out when you were doing all your trivia stuff? Like I gotta know every character.
It's him.
That looks like him. Yeah.
It's absolutely
him.
A
lot younger, but yeah, that looks like him. That's crazy. Brett Durlin. Okay.
Yep. No, that is in the Star Wars League that was a pretty common question actually. Anybody that had like a cameo when they were not famous and then got famous later, especially in Star Wars, really would show up in those trivia questions.
Sure, the one where it's like they weren't famous then, so like you may not have known.
Julian Glover as Veers in Empire Strikes Back is, he would go on to be in Indiana Jones and then Game of Thrones and stuff like that. So yeah, that would pop up as well. So it was cool to see Bryn Durlin in there.
John Ratzenberger. What was the Brett one?
Huh?
Oh, that's his name is Brett. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Brett Durlin is the character's name.
Okay. I see now. I don't know. I think that's most of the things I have. Like I said, most of this book, like I thought was fine. It wasn't like it's not my favorite book that we've read.
No.
Even with having Luke Skywalker in it, which I'm like, well, I like Luke Skywalker. But it was nice to get a little bit in his head of like where he's at with some of this stuff, and especially after the Death Star. Like he has a thing where he wants to prove himself, and there was like a conversation where it's like, well, you blew up the Death Star. Like, how much bigger can you go? It's like, well, that's not what I mean. Like, I don't know how much control I really had in that moment. I want to be able to like do something more. So.
It was very much Luke on like the beginning of his journey is what it feels like.
Yeah.
And going through we'll get into it, my list of Luke Skywalker moments, I don't have a lot that are from A New Hope, That's not really my favorite iteration of the character, but that's because he has an arc. He goes from this to this.
Sure.
And you sometimes, you want to start out and he's going to be like an annoying farm kid in the beginning. And there was a little bit of the annoying farm kid in this, but as the book went on, I enjoyed what the book did for his character.
Sure.
But it couldn't do too much,
No, it really couldn't. And like that might be one of those things where it's like, well, if you ask me like, hey, what book should I read?
Yeah.
Like what one, like I think there's other books that add more to characters or story or the galaxy and the lore than this one does.
From what I understand, the titled Star Wars comic that's just called Star Wars has a lot of Luke between 4 and 5 that is interesting to get to, but I don't want to read about it because we're probably going to get to it in a comic book video at some point.
Okay.
So we'll learn more about this version of Luke in those, but for now, that was Heir to the Heir to the Empire.
Yeah, Heir
to the Jedi.
Yeah, which was, I don't know, it was an okay name too. The name I was thinking of more Jedi-ish stuff happening, but
I think I also like got really excited when I heard that, and I was like, "Oh, like Heir to the Empire, okay,
yeah. Ooh,
that's a high bar." But
what are we gonna do with this one? And it's like, oh, okay, well, all right, that's where we're at.
Yep.
So, before we get to Luke,
Yeah.
especially talking about Ratzenberger, it reminded me. Did you talk at all yet about the passing of Valorum?
I did not.
Terrence
no.
Stamp that we lost recently.
Yeah, Terrence Stamp passed away last week. We mentioned it in our Superman reaction because he's so famous for playing General Zod. But he was also the Chancellor that we had no confidence in.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Chancellor Valorum.
Sadly, we didn't get a lot of him.
No.
It was like that little bit in episode 1, and then Terrence came back in Clone Wars for like that one episode, right?
I know that Valorum was in it.
Valorum's in it. I don't know who voices him.
Does Terrence play him?
I wasn't sure.
I mean, he did a lot of TV work, especially with voices too. I know that he was the voice of Jor-El in Smallville.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But
which is cool to have like Zod play Jor-El, you know.
But we sadly didn't get a lot of
I don't think
Valorum.
it was
But
him.
the little bit we got of him, I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Terrence has been in several things, so it was nice to see him. But
yeah,
I think
I've
sad
heard
to hear about his passing though.
Yeah, me too. So to him and his family, we have our thoughts go out in the Force to them. I know that I'm pretty sure I had read before about him saying, like, I didn't really understand what they wanted me to do in that production. You know,
Really?
like I was like, oh, it's Star Wars, I'll do something with this, and then I don't know who I was or what I was doing. I came up, I
stood
showed
there,
up.
I sat down.
Yeah, sat down
shook my
sadly.
head.
But he is, regardless, a member of the Star Wars family. So, yeah. So R.I.P. to Terrence Stamp.
I just want to make sure to bring that up. I had some people messaging me asking me like if you've heard about it. So usually I like to make sure that people know that one, have heard about it, and if you haven't heard about it, then
sure.
Here's another sad story though.
Yeah.
We do have our Luke moments that we need to get into.
Yeah.
And then I imagine after that, if Eric doesn't have anything else, we might try to get into some questions. Because I know you asked them to bring in some questions earlier.
Yeah.
So if you guys have questions, we'll try to get into those after we finish up this segment.
Yeah, start asking those, and we'll collect them and get into it.
Yeah.
Yep.
We do have another book that we're covering for the next podcast.
Yes, I got it here. The next book it's actually the newest book released. It's called Sanctuary by Lamar Giles. And Aaron, it is about the Bad Batch, set after Season 2's episode Pabu.
A Bad Batch book?
Yeah, a
like
Bad Batch
we're
book.
following the Bad Batch? That's kind of cool.
That's
okay.
what I understand.
All right. That sounds neat.
But you know, the episode Pabu where they had the big tsunami.
Yeah.
It takes place after that.
I was double checking to make sure we didn't have like where Badonkagonk would be.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Looks like it would be on the 25th of September.
Do you remember? 25th September.
Because today's the 21st, so yeah, that would be about the next time we'd have one.
All right, buddy. Well, like I said, it's a new book, so you even people that have read all of them probably still need to do their homework this month. Read Sanctuary, and we'll be talking about that, and maybe we'll have to, I don't know, match up like top clone moments or saddest clone deaths or something when it comes to whatever's with that.
Yeah, maybe. There's some great clones out there.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I was just watching an episode of Clone Wars with Jancy this week, and we were she just randomly asked a question. It was the Boba Fett revenge arc.
Okay.
And she was like, before it was revealed that it was Boba Fett, like that clone, she was like, there's something about him. He seems like older. Are there ever clones that like have mutations and like stuff like doesn't work out or does work out for them in like regards to this stuff? And I was sitting there like, oh, she's nailed Bad Batch. I was like, well, there's clone 99. And then I didn't say, well, technically Boba Fett is a clone of Jango Fett that doesn't have the advanced aging thing, but I didn't want to say it yet until it actually revealed it in the show. And then
sure, yeah.
So
makes sense.
That was on the tip of my mind this week. All right, everybody, we're going to be jumping in to our top Luke Skywalker moments. Aaron, I have a decent amount here, so I say we're going to start with you.
Okay.
And then if any of them
you
double up, I got some alternates.
You don't want to pick the same ones I have. You want some other ones.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say I had trouble with this.
Yeah,
I don't know if I have a lot of like favorite Luke Skywalker moments. Like I like Luke Skywalker, but I was trying to think about this, and I'm like, you know what? There's not a lot of moments that are like, this. Oh man, that's so cool, or I really like this, or it's my favorite thing here.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was weird trying to pick which one they were.
Okay.
Like, and I guess also I was like, oh man, I could always be like, oh, when he said like, no, I'm a Jedi like my dad, and I'm like, that's a good important moment for Star Wars, but like, is it my favorite Luke moment? I don't know. It was hard to like wrap my head around some of these.
Okay.
So like,
well, I'm really interested in what is on your list then.
all right.
It was relatively easy for me.
Well,
I also identify with Luke so much. Like, I literally was
I'm
a
a farm boy.
I literally was that guy that could do nothing but play with swords and dream about the future.
Gotcha. No, I think the more and more I look into Star Wars, the more I find that like the prequel era was like stronger for me in Star Wars
Well, it makes a lot of
than
sense.
the original trilogy was, maybe.
Considering when it came out at your age.
Yeah,
I think that makes a lot of sense.
So maybe I have more connections there with characters and stuff too, but no, so like in trying to figure out if like my dad before me is like one of my favorite moments, instead I went with number 5 as tickling Ray.
With the read?
When I was trying to think of like
do you feel that?
different moments, for some reason that one popped into my head of like one of my favorite like Luke moments, and I don't know why.
Like when he slaps her with the reed and stuff.
Yeah, where she's like, "Yeah, I do feel it, I do," and he's like, "Ah."
No, that's legitimately one of my favorite moments too. I have that as an alternate.
"Do you?"
Yeah,
Okay.
Luke training Ray.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, that one I was like, "Oh, that's a really cool." Not a really cool one, but it's like just it's a very Luke. I don't know. It's more of a Mark Hamill thing, I guess.
Mark
I don't
Hamill
know.
plays grumpy old man so well.
Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe that's it. Like there's like the Mark Hamill-ness of that moment like got me really good. I don't know.
Gotcha.
So that was
All right.
I pulled the rug out from under you on
No,
that.
you
didn't I?
did. I mean, like I said, I have that, but it's like far down my list. But I quite enjoy that one too. Okay, so that's gonna be your number 5.
Yeah, that's my 5.
Okay.
I'll fight you for 1.
Okay. My number 5 is going to be the Battlefront 2 campaign, when it's very brief, but Del is the character that you're with in that one brief section where Luke shows up. And that always stuck out to me as like, man, whoever wrote this scene understands Luke Skywalker, because Del is an Imperial agent and he's doing Imperial work, and he has this great moment where he asks Luke, like, why did you help me? And Luke just responds, because you asked. And it just, it's cool to see Luke as a Jedi in his prime. Another moment, which is going to be on my list later, Prime Luke. But I just love the peek into that era there, smack in the middle of a game that has nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
I spent some time trying to think of like Luke in video games.
Okay,
and like
sure.
it didn't I didn't have any good. I even was looking at like, oh man, I used to play Rogue Squadron. Do I have any moments in like Rogue Squadron where like I feel like Luke was around somewhere, but like is there a favorite moment from him there? And I couldn't think and find one.
I have a lot of Luke Skywalker video game moments, but I tend to try to keep non-canon moments off my list.
Sure.
For
That was
this.
my other thing where I'm like, even if I find it, it's not necessarily canon anymore or anything. So, all right. Well, my number 4 then will be the Force projection moment of The Last Jedi.
Damn. Okay.
Like, I think that's a moment too where like
That's my number 2.
that's your number 2.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, I think it's a fun moment for watching, but also like just in the power that he's using.
Yeah.
I think it's cool to like have that realization happen, the little clues that are in that moment that is there with what you're seeing and what's happening. But also just like that fight moment is really good too.
I love moments in movies that you really can only experience once. Every other time you're going to experience it a completely different way because you're going to be looking at all those every time. But the first time you watch that movie and you realize he's not there, it hits you so hard.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons that Last Jedi is one of my favorite Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
And that moment is fantastic.
And you can also kind of pull in the little bit when he stops by and talks to Leia, which is really good too, because I think that's the only time in the sequel trilogy that those two really interact. Yeah. Unless you kind of count like that flashback, like
their
training moment. But that's the what no one's ever really gone kind of moment. I like that a lot.
Yeah. No, I mean, so much rides on that moment hitting well because the whole, some people don't like this, but the whole point of that character in that movie is that his legend is held at such high esteem that when he fails so hard because Luke Skywalker, Jedi Master, can't fail. You can't do it. We can't have this happen again. But when it does happen, and it completely breaks him, and that's what makes the conversation with Yoda resonate so hard. That failure is the greatest teacher. But then also, like, when he says, like, what, you just expect that I can just go and fight the entire First Order army? I can't do that. We're not gods. We're people. We're shepherds. We try to help when we can, but we can't do that. But Luke figures out a way for his story to continue. Even though he's not actually doing that, he finds a way to do it. And it's such an incredible...
buys time for the others to get out, right?
He does, and it might be the greatest feat of the Force we've ever seen in Star Wars. I mean, he projects himself across the galaxy, and not only that, he keeps the projection of, like, Han's dice, like, beyond his death. Like, he dies, becomes one with the Force, and Kylo still has that until almost the very end of the movie, in which case it disappears, It might be the most powerful use of the Force we've ever seen.
Sure. Yeah. No, that one's really, really strong.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also like the Han Solo's like return is like a really good one too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Anakin might have done some stuff, but I don't know if I don't know. He held he's like stopping the brother and the sister and stuff at different points, wasn't he? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, he was.
How strong do you have to be to do that? I don't know.
No, I'm when I say that, I don't want to rank the moments. I
sure,
suppose.
Yeah, I get you. But no, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
It's a crazy moment that we've never they force beat, but they never did again. Why? It'd be a problem.
But for me, its true power is that it's Luke actually doing what he thought for the last how many years cannot be done. He's like, I actually can use the story of Luke Skywalker because nobody showed up to help the rebels. Like, Leia put the call out, no one shows up. But because he does that, the next time they call for help, everyone shows up, Even at the very end of that movie, those kids who are at Canto Bight, under the oppression of the slave master there, they're still telling the story of Luke Skywalker, which is what the original trilogy was for the kids of the 70s and 80s. It was their hero to get through hard times. And I love that was put into the film for 2 generations later to experience.
For the galaxy.
Yeah. Okay, that was your number 4. Let's see here. I'm going to say my number 4 then is... obviously Empire Strikes Back has so many fantastic moments. Luke learning that Vader is his father is crazy. But I love the choice that with No Way Out, with the revelation that Vader is his father, and with the hey, you're going to join the dark side and join me, Luke would rather die. When he falls to his death, he thinks I'm dead. He doesn't know he's going to survive. We don't, will of the Force, all that type of thing. He just is like, no, I literally would rather die than this happen. He just lets go. I think it's a pretty baller way to go out. Granted, he didn't go out, but I think he thought he was going to.
Yeah.
He's like, especially a kid who grew up probably every day asking, who's my dad? Who's my mom? Where do I come from? What does Skywalker mean?
Yeah.
When suddenly given hey, I'm going to give you an answer to that question, and you're going to hate it, and it sucks. And now I'm also giving you the power of the entire galaxy. Just reach out your hand, and Luke just falls.
Yeah, let me go get it.
Yeah. So I would say that's probably going to be in mine right there. I love that moment.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't love that they added him screaming.
What do you mean?
One of the versions, it used to be that he fell silently.
Oh, now he's like, ah!
And then another one, it was Luke falling, but it was just Palpatine scream.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember this. Is it in the current Disney streaming ones or no?
I don't know if it's in the current one or not. But at the very least, was it the special edition that added the scream? And when I understand, that is just George Lucas being, all right, I want him to scream now. All right, bring up all the sounds of screams we have. And they just picked one, and I'm pretty sure it's...
Really?
It's
Huh. I've never noticed it.
Ian
or
McDermott
picked it out.
screaming from episode 6.
Okay.
In which case, it distracts me every single time I would watch it.
Yeah, I don't think I ever
But
noticed
that
it
doesn't
anywhere.
remove the enjoyment or the respect I have for Luke being like, you think you have me cornered. Like, I still have one way out. You know, the Sith reject death, and they're the ultimate greedy people that want to live forever. Luke was like, I'd rather die. You know?
Yeah, sure. 1997 special edition.
Special edition.
Man, I had the special edition. I don't remember him yelling when he jumped. Though I usually watch the original on my VHS, so I don't know.
I mean, I can try to find it real quick.
No, it's all right.
Okay.
I believe you.
But when you hear it and I say, listen for Palpatine, you'll understand.
All right. I don't know. My number 3, I guess, is also gonna be from The Last Jedi. I think with Luke and Yoda.
Ooh, okay.
The moment where Luke is like,
The sacred text!
yeah, like he's like, I'm done with this. I'm destroying the Jedi. I'm destroying the tree. And Yoda's like, okay. And he goes up there and Luke hesitates. He's like, you know, like you talked before about like what the legend of Luke is and like what, you know, he's like, what's the Jedi and what the Jedi have ruined so much. And I need to get rid of this because then the Jedi fall to the dark side. You know, like he's trying to figure out like what the solution should be. And then he's like so determined to do it and he stops and he can't do it. And then Yoda's like, all right.
I know.
And he blows it up. And I also, this might be more Yoda, but I love him like,
Yeah, with his feet.
kicking his little feet.
Well, I mean, because there's something about the way Mark Hamill is so good with his voice, but he falls right back into Empire Strikes Back. Master Yoda, you know, like there's this old grumpy man, jaded, thinking like, I made the same mistakes, you know, that I always said I never would make. But right there, he like falls back to being an apprentice, just in his tone of voice alone.
Well, I love Yoda showing him like, young Skywalker.
Yeah.
You know, he still calls him young Skywalker, but he's young to him.
Yeah.
But
Everyone's young to him.
but like just the conversation there, and like, you know, when you were talking about the falling of Luke, the legend, and like he falls hard because he was set so high. Like I feel like Yoda also can relate to that, being like on the council, the master there, and having to fight the Emperor and losing, and then like to exile I go. You know, I failed, I couldn't, and now like he feels the weight of the loss of the Jedi also resides on him a bit. You know.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's some relation there to like, I think people looked up to Yoda as like, maybe not like a legend, but like that's Master Yoda, you know? He's been around for hundreds of years and he's taught so many Jedi, or, you know, all that kind of stuff. And he failed. He couldn't. So he goes and hides in a swamp, you know? Like there's nothing else he can do.
To
like,
exile, I must go.
yeah. And I think Luke can also really relate to that, but I don't think he knows all that. So maybe more so Yoda can relate to what Luke's going through right now, because he exiles himself to this island of Octu, you know?
I mean, it's very similar, though I would say that Luke's is a little tiny bit more personal, because his is like Leia trusted me with her son.
Sure, yeah.
You know?
His is more direct in what he did do or didn't do in his actions, versus like Yoda was like, we couldn't see, we were too arrogant as Jedi, as a people, versus just being solely all of his responsibility, and then he couldn't beat this guy.
Yeah.
So I think there's some relations there, but yeah, I think Luke's is a lot tougher.
Yeah.
And I also really just like the what's it called? I like the 3 version of his story of like, it was this, and then it's like, it was this, and he's like, you know, gonna kill him. The other one, he's like, I don't know what to do, and then he looks at Ben, and Ben's like, I'm gonna kill you. You know, like I just like the different versions of their perspectives of the stories, and it's like, well, it's somewhere in the middle.
And that one moment of like, hey, I could actually end this. I could stop this suffering. Like when Luke sees the suffering of Han and Leia in Empire Strikes Back, he ignores what Yoda and Obi-Wan, his 2 mentors, tell him to do. Stay, do not do this. And he goes, I'm going to go do it. I'm going to help my friends. That's what I do. I take action and I stop the evil from happening. That's exactly the temptation Luke felt when he sees his corrupted nephew. Literally, he can see the future and see all the things that he's going to do. And just for one moment, it's like, I can put a stop to this. And that's the moment that stops or crushes everything. You know, we like to compare that moment to episode 6 when he doesn't kill Vader, but he's not presented the same thing. In that
Sure.
one, he's forgiving someone that's done something terrible. In this one, he's stopping someone from doing something terrible.
Sure.
If he had the ability to go back and kill and stop Anakin before he became Vader, I'm sure Luke would have hesitated longer than he did for Kylo Ren. I'll tell you that.
Maybe it's the difference of like knowing the future or a vision of the future and being like it's always in motion.
Exactly.
Like with it always being in motion, he may have set it in motion with his moment there, right? Versus like if he could somehow go back in time, knowing what happened, like, well, I know this is what's going to happen. I wasn't here before. I can stop it from happening and change what the future is too. So, yeah.
I always like. Have you ever heard of you guys are watching The Good Place, so you've heard of the trolley problem.
Yeah.
Which in philosophy is just a way of trying to, well, what do you value and what action would you take, right? But the thing that you don't really often talk about in the trolley problem is that you have to make that decision in like 2 seconds.
Sure.
You don't have time to think about it. And it's the same thing that happened with Luke. When he's there and he gets that vision, it happens in 2 seconds, you know? Anyway, we could talk about Luke Skywalker a lot. We're going to continue. When was that for you?
3.
That was 3. Okay. I am going to go...
Oh, did we have the Luke yelling sound? Did you want to do that?
Oh, yeah, let's listen. Now that this is up, can you hear Palpatine with this? No sound. Gonk, there's no sound.
Had sound earlier.
It did have sound earlier.
Come with me. It is the only way.
I mean, I don't specifically hear Palpatine, but man, I do not remember
I'm pretty
that.
sure that's the same sound that when Palpatine falls in Episode 6.
I don't remember that.
It's like a
At all.
Yeah. Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I definitely prefer the silent fall myself.
I guess I always think of it as being silent, but maybe that's because like I watched it the most on the original, and then I had the special edition, but then I also like the Blu-rays came out, and if they changed it back then I'm like, okay, well, I had the Blu-rays and I had streaming for Disney Plus and stuff, and because I'm like I just watched through them all like I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago with the kids. I remember that being there, so it must have been not on the streaming side of things.
I also apologize to everybody that every time you watch that version, you will now only think of that and not think of that what's actually happening. You'll think Palpatine's voice.
Yeah, you ruined that. Why
I
you
know.
do that?
It's similar to like when you watch Lord of the Rings and you have that moment when Viggo Mortensen kicks the helmet. It's like I can't never think about that Viggo Mortensen actually just broke his toe in that.
So stop bringing meta stuff into this and
No!
enjoy the movie.
No. All right, I'll enjoy the movies with my next one, which is this is my 2.
3.
This is my 3rd. I'm going to go with.
You have like 20 over there, Eric. Pick one.
This is another Empire Strikes Back one. I really like the moment. It's after what we just saw with the yell. Luke, like, is hearing Vader in his mind. Like, you know, he immediately says, "Father," you know, like he already accepted it in that way. I like his grief when he like realizes his mentor lied to him. Ben, why didn't you tell me? I really like that. You don't get that, and we don't get to sit in it very long. But I really like that moment for his character, where he realizes that not only do I have to doubt everything in my life, I have to doubt my mentors, my authority figures, the people that are supposed to love and care about and protect me. Like, am I being used? I'm like, well, why wouldn't they tell me something so important? You know, I really like that moment for him, for his character. So that goes up there high for me. A lot of moments you get, yeah, Luke Skywalker, but you don't often get Luke doubting himself like that in the original trilogy. You know?
Sure.
So I would say that one's pretty far up there.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. Because that's around the time, and then he's like, Leia, right?
Yeah.
And like he reaches out to her, or is that?
Well, that's
it's
after.
on the Falcon.
It's on
when
the
he's
Falcon
like,
later.
He's like, Father. Okay, yeah.
Ben,
Okay.
Why didn't you tell me?
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. He's resting. His arm's already.
Yeah.
After Lando gets him.
Yep. Really like that. I am doing a little bit of reordering just because you did.
I took something from you.
Took some of mine. Yeah.
Well, why don't you just tell me what your 5 were, and then you can just mention all the things you liked otherwise.
Gotcha. You're right.
All right. Here's my list of honorable mentions. I got 10 more.
Yeah.
2 for me. I'm gonna go to Return of the Jedi, and not counting the hologram, Luke's first time showing up in the movie. Like, he enters Jabba's palace.
The whole intro
like that
scene
full,
was-
like him showing up, like all the way to like the Rancor fight. Like that whole
Yeah.
moment with Luke, I think
Yep.
is great. Like, one, it opens and he's cloaked and wearing black, and it's much more of like a Darth Vader kind of feel. Like almost to the, like where you think maybe Vader's showing up, not Luke Skywalker, and he chokes Gamorreans and stuff, and you're
Chokes
like,
the pigs.
it seems dark. Isn't choking a bad guy thing?
Wearing complete black, hooded.
Yeah,
You know,
coming through,
giving
and,
away his droids.
Yeah, like it feels like oh man, who is this Luke? Has he turned more the dark side?
Like,
You know,
did
like,
learning about his dad like actually change things?
yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of like, if you've seen. When I watched through with my kids, we
Mm-hmm.
watched, chronologically. So we watched Rebels, and then we went into the original trilogy. And
Sweet.
you have a little bit of that Ezra stuff when,
Yeah.
like, there's some darker things that have happened in his life, and now he's got a little bit more of a darkness in him than
Yeah.
he used to in maybe the first 2 seasons.
Mhm.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of that, or
Yeah.
that reminds me a little bit of this, I guess, depending on which way you're watching it.
Sure.
But that, and then leading all the way up to him, like, saberless fighting a Rancor, which is something that we've had, like, oh, what's that noise down there? We sent that one Twi'lek down there, and it just screamed, and now we get to actually see the creature, and we get to watch Luke fight to survive, and it's a cool, like, actual monster fight moment.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I love
Using the
love that.
bone to keep the mouth open. He literally throws a skull to kill the Rancor.
Yeah.
That's so metal.
Yeah, like, so like, just that whole moment from like him showing up to having that Rancor fight, like, I
Okay.
think is just one of my favorite moments of Luke Skywalker, from you questioning who he is and why he's here.
Yeah.
Him Jedi mind tricking
Sure.
Bib Fortuna, Jabba being like, "You weak-minded fool," I really like that scene, and I think, like, for me, like, I really like Return of the Jedi. But I think up until there, it's a little slower, kind of getting you into what's going on, and then you get Luke. It's like a lot of people talk about that whole, like, Jabba section being like kind of a cold open, like James Bond, before you get into, like, and let's get into the movie.
Sure.
But that's like, now James Bond is showing up. You've been set up and showing you how scummy and everything is, and you don't know who Boosh is for a little while, and all this stuff, and then
Yeah.
eventually, like, everyone starts showing up, and then Luke shows up.
It's awesome. And
So-
then Luke shows up. What a perfect segue into my next one. The barge scene from Return of the Jedi. Every moment, like, Luke Skywalker was always the young boy, like, trying to become an ideal, to achieve something.
Mhm.
And it isn't until, like, we see him fail, and we see him get tricked by Vader. We see he pulls off the Death Star move, but it's kind of by the seat of his pants, and he
Yeah.
loses a lot of people, and he's not necessarily in control. He's super lucky. And you think, oh man, the movie just started, and we're already captured, and we're going to be executed, and then just the signal, and you realize that Luke had been in control the entire time. At this moment, he is a Jedi Knight, like, fully in his element. When he gives that off and then ignites his green lightsaber for the first time, it's magic for me. I love introspective Luke. I love, like, Luke, going through his feels. But Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight, the story that children tell all around the galaxy, like, I don't think he's ever been more on display in a movie than in that moment.
Sure. Free us or die.
Yeah. Like, I love it so much. Like, I fully accept that he force kicks somebody because he does a kick and it doesn't connect. I just say it's a force kick.
Force
Why
kick.
can't you?
No. Yeah.
Yeah. I just love how it goes from, oh my God, our hero's going to die, to, you forgot this is Luke Skywalker. And you doubted him for a second. You thought he was going dark side.
Mhm.
He is, it's one of my favorite moments. I absolutely love the barge scene.
I only have one issue in that whole scene. And I don't know if we talked about it before or not. but I never understood what he was doing when he got shot in his hand.
We talked about this before.
Okay.
Yeah, that he puts his hand up and he gets shot.
He's holding his saber up
Yep.
like this, and I'm like, and he brings it down. Like, what was he doing up there? Like,
We talked about how it's possible that sometimes Jedi will block blaster bolts that were never going to hit them so that they can redirect them back at somebody. So he could have been going up to get like a stray bolt.
it felt like is it the original Star Wars poster where it's like, maybe it's Return of the Jedi, where he's like holding his saber up and like Leia's
That's
like
the original
laying
one,
down,
yeah.
and like I'm like, maybe he was trying to do that pose.
Do that pose. Yeah.
I don't know what he was doing, but
Sure, I get you.
that was the only thing in that whole scene where every time I got to that, I'm like, what was he doing? You know,
I
what
understand.
was that?
Yeah.
And I've had that in fight scenes before.
I mean, I'll be able to find one of those moments in every single scene, but that's definitely one of the glaring ones in that one. I will admit.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the rest
and
of that,
the
I
force
love.
kick, and the force kick.
Force kick.
For
sure.
me, the force kick is more egregious
yeah.
because it's clear that nothing intended happened. Whereas
Sure.
there, like, there was an intention, it just was a weird choice.
Sure, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know the intention there. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway. All right. Well, then going to number one.
Number one.
We can just share this one, I assume. Because I don't.
We could.
Because you haven't mentioned it yet, and I'm assuming it's on
haven't.
your list.
I can pivot.
You can pivot. Is your number one The Rescue?
The rescue.
That was my number one. It was the first moment I thought.
One X-Wing.
And I don't, yeah, just the whole moment. And maybe that's also a little bit more recent and stuff too. But like, I don't necessarily love like all the things with Luke and Grogu and all that kind of stuff too. But that moment there when it's slowly being revealed, and maybe it's kind of like this one before with the Rancor fight and like him coming up and like, wait, is this Luke? Oh man, is he dark side? You know, like this is like one X-Wing. Why is there one X-Wing? Wait, there's one X-Wing? You know, who flies an X-Wing? You know,
Who flies in one X-Wing?
Who's one X-Wing flying around the galaxy? What do you mean? What's going on here?
Like,
and
yeah.
and then like you keep like as you watch, and there's a little bit more and a little bit more, and now it's in color, and now it's a green saber, and you're like, oh my god! Like that whole moment, like
It's etched in time. It's another one. This is what we were saying earlier. You will never watch that for the first time ever again.
Mm-hmm.
You're always gonna know it's Luke Skywalker. But the first moment, like everybody, when you watch reactions to that, everybody like thinks it's Luke at different times. You know, because that's what they had to do. They were working up.
Yeah,
not just
you're
because
getting the little hints.
Yeah, you're getting the hints, and like it's just this anticipation. But by the time you realize or you confirm it's Luke, like your heart has already accepted before your brain says that's Luke Skywalker. You can just feel it, and it's all. I love that it's different for everybody. When they, you know, when we watched it, we were like, one X-Wing. They can only be one person, you know. But like I said, I love watching reactions because it takes a bit. Sometimes when people see the green lightsaber, sometimes when he shows up in the elevator, you know. For some people, it's when it actually puts down his hood. Sure. But
yeah.
What an amazing moment to. And you could say like, well, it's recency bias or something, but I don't think so. That moment is special for you and me, because it's like wish fulfillment. We get to see Luke Skywalker in his prime. You know, just by the nature of George Lucas not making sequels while Mark Hamill was that age.
Yeah.
Like I just never thought I'd get to see that.
Yeah.
I had to only imagine what it would be like when I would read the EU.
Sure.
Or
when you're reading Heir to the
Yeah.
Empire, like, here's Luke in his prime. What can he do? Or
yeah, but I mean, that moment is so special. I also love that it's a lot of my Star Wars moments are from when I was a childhood, but that one is firmly rooted with my friends. You know, I can't not think of that moment and not think of you guys there with me.
Yeah.
You know, such an amazing musical moment. He gets his hallway scene. They spend a long time showing like, hey, Dark Troopers, like it sucks to fight them. Like just one is such an issue, and he cuts through 200.
He had no
like,
problem.
Nothing, you know.
Goes through them all.
One of my alternates was from the EU where Luke Skywalker. It's technically Luke versus Darth Caedus, who is Jason Solo at the end of Legacy of the Force, and you know, Darth Caedus is one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy. He's far more powerful than any Jedi Master in Luke's order. But when Luke shows up to confront him, Caedus like is pinned to his seat. He literally cannot stand. Luke's presence is that powerful, you know? It's a cool moment, but it doesn't really like hit me as something like this where we're showing Luke's power, but we're doing it in this like puzzle box way.
Yeah.
Where you don't really know, even if you think it's Luke Skywalker, you're getting like a piece of evidence and then piece of evidence and then piece of evidence, and then bam, we have to sell you on it before you see him because it doesn't really look like Luke Skywalker, you know?
Sure, yeah.
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 There's a part of me that, I mean, I can see it with like deep fakes on YouTube, but I kind of wish they would special edition that with the effects that they're capable of in Book of Boba
I mean, the way they've done
Book
stuff
of Boba Fett.
on the Disney Plus stuff, like
not just do it?
maybe they'll do
Yeah.
that and just, hey guys, we're gonna upgrade this a little bit.
Mhm.
But no, I think you're right. Like I remember the first time watching it. Later with rewatching and stuff like that too, I'm like, okay, it doesn't look as much Luke like as my first time watching, where I was like, I'm sold.
Yeah.
This is Luke, and when I'm like, oh my god, it's Luke. Look, it's
Mhm.
Luke. Look at him.
Absolutely.
And then like as I watched it more and like kind of that, I guess the magic has kind of like faded a little bit.
Sure.
Already knowing who it is and everything,
Yeah.
and then I'm watching it already knowing, not like adrenaline rushing because I'm so excited. And I'm like, okay, I can see more scenes now than I used to be able to.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be against them. Like we can touch it up a little bit more.
Same. But again, the value of that scene and why it's so high on my list, and it is technically my number one.
I figured. I'm like, this has to be our number ones,
Yeah.
right? I imagine it has to.
Yeah. But I will pivot for mine and go to I am a Jedi like my father before me. Return of the Jedi. Luke looking down, at his cybernetic hand after he has chopped his father's off and realizing, oh my God, this path of anger leads me here. I can't do this. I can't fall in this trap. What do I do? The only thing to do is not be a super powerful Jedi. It's not, repulse, lightning with my hands. It's literally show compassion to my father, something that no one has done since Revenge of the Sith. Show true compassion to my father. That's what saves his life. That's what kills the Emperor, And my favorite part of that is the Emperor's response. The Emperor, he's always, mocking people, but he responds to Luke so seriously. So be it, Jedi. In that moment, it's maybe not appropriate because it's coming from a Sith Lord, but I feel like that's when Luke became a Jedi. When Yoda says, or when Luke says to Yoda, so I am a Jedi, he's like, oh, not yet. You got to confront Darth Vader again. I think that Palpatine saying, so be it, Jedi, is as good as a master saying, oh, you are now a Jedi Knight.
Sure.
It's
the confrontation from Luke, right?
Yeah.
It's him making his decision of where he's going. There's still that, and maybe Yoda's looked into the future and, it's hard to tell exactly what's happened, but he can see a world where he joins his father.
Yeah.
He can also see a world where he doesn't join his father. And that decision has to be made. And it's not until that moment that decision's made. And then Palpatine's there to confirm it of fine, Jedi. Right. And he tries to take him out,
Throws his weapon away.
Yeah.
Which, in retrospect, now that we've seen all these things, since, I kind of think there's this imaginary conversation between Ghost Yoda and Ghost Obi-Wan. It's teach him about lightsaber repelling with that. You did not. And only teaching with not repelling with your hands. You did not.
Yeah,
why didn't we tell him about that?
Why don't you can do this? Stop the lightning.
The one thing he could use to stop that lightning, he throws away.
Did Luke know he had lightning at that point?
No.
No
one did.
I don't know.
I didn't.
I don't know if anyone told him he could do that.
I don't think so.
If Yoda's hey, he might shoot lightning at you.
Yeah,
be ready.
I mean,
I don't know.
They tend to keep information away, but also
certain points of view.
The point in which Obi-Wan and Yoda are in the original trilogy they trust in the Force. They don't need to tell him exactly what to do. They have faith he will do what needs to be done, and he does. In an act of compassion, refusing to fight his father. Instead of fighting evil, he will find the good in him, and to do it in front of the most evil man, most powerful man in the galaxy as a big, F you. I love it. I love how serious and angry it makes Palpatine. So be it, Jedi, It's no matter what happens, because ultimately whatever happens in here doesn't matter because the ships out there are going to blow this place up or they're not. But in that moment, Palpatine lost. Not when he died, when he failed to turn Luke Skywalker because he is a Jedi like his father before him.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll probably be my number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Did you need to mention anything else?
I mean, Binary Sunset, I think, is an important moment for a lot of people. It's not necessarily important to Luke.
No, I don't think it's important to Luke. And
You know?
I like the moment later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, first time watching, I'm like, oh, that's pretty. But I think now, like, the music and everything, like, it sits with you a bit more of him standing
Sure.
up there and stuff. And especially when they, like, acknowledge it in episode 3
Yeah.
and kind of, like, recreate that. And you're like, oh, man, it's like Luke, you know?
I do think it's been homaged and recreated too much.
Too much?
Like, it happens in episode 3, and I think that's very appropriate. And then it happens kind of in episode 8, where, like, Luke is dying, but he sees the two suns setting, and he, like, you know, I'm ending like I started, you know? And then they also kind of do it with Rey at the end of episode 9. It's the same binary sunset again, you know? I just felt like there's too many trying to capture that moment. But they're doing it because it is such a moment, you know? It is quintessential Star Wars.
Sure.
It's also a moment where music overtakes all else,
Sure.
and I just love those moments.
Very
you know?
musical.
Yeah. So the Binary Sunset is very much up there.
I think that's a good one. I also like, on the opposite side of things, when Luke takes out an AT-AT all alone by himself.
Yeah.
Like, that was definitely one that I thought of when I'm just like, oh, yeah, his ship's crashed. Now what's he going to do? And he runs up. Ah! You know,
yeah.
Jeez, man. Okay,
Right?
he got one. Good job.
This is for Deck.
Yeah, I just think it's crazy that he was able to do all that.
No,
That's pretty high, you know?
That's a fantastic one. I mean, it kind of reminds me of another one on my alternates. This is more of a Legends one, but it's from Dark Empire, where Luke is a little bit more dark side, but he also takes on an AT-AT, but with his lightsaber, he literally reflects it back at them. But he's so powerful at that point, he can do that. Pretty cool moment too.
That's sweet.
But I prefer yours.
Yeah, that's cool. Like, just knock it back. But no. And speaking of Hoth and stuff too, I'm glad that he was able to come back after his motorcycle accident, and that they were able to, like, just make things work and everything for that too. So, and I'm glad his motorcycle accident, I don't know, wasn't as bad as it could be in a motorcycle accident. But I was talking with Melanie and stuff about that. She goes, man, I'm so glad he came back from that motorcycle accident and was able to continue playing Luke Skywalker. I'm like, you know what? You got a good point. Yeah, I'm glad he was able to too, because, like, not having Luke or having to, like, change things up because of that would have been. It's not a world I live in. I live in this world. I'm so glad to have Mark Hamill be able to be Luke Skywalker.
Agreed. Another small alternate one that I had was Luke raising the X-wing in Episode 9.
Sure.
It's a little bit more meta of an enjoyment moment. I mean, it obviously Luke would appreciate it. Rey wouldn't appreciate it. We, the audience, I think, appreciate it more. So it's not super high on my list, but I do like that moment as well.
He also fails, right? So.
Well, in Episode 9.
Oh, in 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
When he doesn't fail to do it.
Okay, I
when
see.
Now he realizes, like, I'm the Yoda now. You know?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking of it in Empire. I'm like, oh, that's more of a Yoda moment there. But yeah.
But it's not super high on my list because it does reek a little bit more of fan service than it does, like, a genuine feel sometimes.
Sure.
To me.
I like being service, though.
I do, but there are some times where it hits me too hard, the fan service feel. Like when they give the medal to Chewie finally,
Sure.
Like, I get what you're doing, but that really feels like you're throwing a wink to the audience in a way that isn't necessarily something the characters would care about too much, you know?
Sure.
Which, I mean, if you're going to do something like that, it has to mean something to the characters. It's one of the reasons I abhorred the ending of the Flash movie, because it had all of this fan service for, like, Nick Cage Superman and Christopher Reeve Superman. And it's like, oh, okay.
Why?
This doesn't matter to the characters. It only matters to me. So it doesn't ring true, So I kind of feel that way a little bit with those two things.
Was it Maz that gave him that? Who gave Chewie that? Do you remember?
It's at the end of Episode 9, right?
Yeah. It is.
I think so.
Because the reason I ask is, like, wasn't there a book that we did where, like, it was The Force Collector, wasn't it? Where it's like, here's this medal. And
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like,
the fake medal. Yeah.
And it's like, Maz has it, and Han Solo gave it to her, but it was Luke's medal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, man, so she had what she thought was Han Solo's medal and ended up being Luke's medal, and then she gave that to Chewie?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
I think so.
So
Like
did
that.
Chewie get Luke's medal?
Maybe.
So, but no, I get what you mean. Like
Yeah.
sometimes fan service just for fan service, like you want to have a meaning with the fan service.
Yeah,
I
it
guess,
has
right?
to have utility for the character in the story, not just to wink at fans.
Sure,
Yeah.
I get what you mean.
Mhm.
Like, is it fan service that Cad Bane is the bounty hunter that shows up to shoot Cobb Vanth? Yes, but is it also part of the story and important?
Yeah.
Yes. Like
Yeah.
you could have made it some other bounty hunter, and it would have worked too.
Yeah.
But because of Cad Bane, I'm a little bit more excited all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
it's literally like Boba Fett, who is the baddest bounty hunter in the galaxy, having to confront a version of himself he no longer is the baddest bounty hunter in the galaxy. There's
Yeah.
utility there.
Yeah.
You know?
So I do like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like Luke Skywalker had utility of showing up to save everyone, the Grogu and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
But it is also fan service. But I loved it because like, hey, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna get out of here?
Mhm.
These things are so hard, we can't beat them. Who could possibly beat these? Maybe that guy.
There's also a great behind the scenes video of Dave Filoni talking about how important it was to nail exactly how Luke fights with his lightsaber. He's like, look, he's not going to look as good as Ahsoka. Ahsoka has like proper saber training from saber masters. Luke kind of has to figure this stuff out on his own. He had like a couple of days with Obi-Wan, or like a day with Obi-Wan,
Sure.
and like maybe like a month / a weird time dilation, but we don't know of any actual saber training he did with Yoda.
Like Return of the Jedi, like he looks a lot more like baseball baddie, right?
Well, he is. It's very wide stance Excalibur fighting, you know, and this is just a faster version of that. But they definitely in their choreography tried to keep like, you know, drag his leg a little bit, make sure his lines aren't, you know, he doesn't often go one-handed. He usually stays with the two, you know. So what they did was just perfect what he's already been.
Sure.
Not give him new stuff.
What does he look like here? What would like a better version of this look like, kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? He's had more years doing these fights, potentially.
Yeah.
What would that person look like? Whereas like our lightsaber styles, like we also grew up watching other versions of fights, like other Jedi fights and stuff like that too. So like whenever you and I do lightsaber fights, we have like those things that we think of and that we pull from and stuff too.
Absolutely.
But like what examples does he have of fighting? Maybe he watched, you know, Tusken Raiders fighting on Tatooine.
Sure.
So like he has like I've seen people fight with those sticks, you know, with gaffy sticks. Maybe that has some like relevance to how he fights with a lightsaber. I don't know.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
Yep.
what does he have to pull from? So
All right, everybody. Those were our top Luke Skywalker moments. Did we have something, or was there a moment that wasn't on our list that you really like? Make sure you're going down in the comments letting us know.
yeah. Yorub said that Chewie got Leia's medal.
That's right.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Sure.
I don't think I've watched Return or Rise of Skywalker since theaters.
We should do a rewatch for
I don't-
Badonkagonk when.
Yeah,
one
I
day or
don't think I've ever. Me and the kids still haven't gone through the sequel trilogy yet.
Okay.
We went through the original trilogy, and I think we went through Mandalorian.
Sure.
We didn't watch Ahsoka yet. We haven't watched Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
We kind of had like a hiatus and took a break, and then we just never went back to it.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I've seen The Force Awakens a few times, but I've also like, well, I'm not gonna watch these again until like either I'm gonna watch them like with Blind Wave stuff, Wave Squadron stuff, or I'm gonna watch them with the kids.
Yeah.
And then that way it's a little bit more of a fresh like, oh, dude, look at this. I don't
Okay.
remember this because I don't know. I just haven't.
Well, I mean, when did it come out? 2019? Something like that?
Maybe.
I think Force Awakens was, what, 2016?
I want to say 2016. Yeah.
I think it might have been 2019 or 2008. I can't really remember. But, you know, time flies. It's going to get to the point where
2017
Yeah, 2017.
was that's Last Jedi actually. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
2015
Rise
was
of
The Force
Skywalker was
Awakens.
2019.
2017 and then 2019.
Yeah.
So, I mean, heck, man, it's only going to be a couple more years, and we're already going to be at like the 10-year anniversary of those things. So
Dang, that's crazy.
it's crazy. I greatly look forward to more Star Wars. You know, I'm ever the optimist. I always want to think and have faith that the best Star Wars is in front of us, not behind us. You know,
Sure.
but
Well, and I think like growing up, like I've had some of my favorite Star Wars in my life. Not like what had already been out with the original trilogy necessarily, but like watching the prequel trilogy and then watching like Clone Wars and then watching like Mandalorian and watching like I really like Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like the best Star Wars, but I enjoyed it a lot. And I think there's been a lot of some of my favorite Star Wars has been like newer stuff in my
Absolutely.
lifetime.
Like the prequels are some of my favorite Star Wars, but that's because I watched it when I was a child. And now as an adult, like Andor Season 2 is some of my favorite Star Wars, but I probably wouldn't appreciate it when I was a child.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So I enjoy those generational feelings that the franchise can give, and hope that, you know, maybe we'll see more prime Luke Skywalker in an Heir to the Jedi movie.
Yeah.
You know?
We have Ahsoka season 2,
Yeah.
right? I don't know what all we're gonna have with that. We
Sure.
know that there's a Luke around in that time, Heir to the Jedi or Heir to the Empire or whatever they're gonna do with that.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing like what kind of stuff we bring back in before we have the sequel trilogy coming in.
Yeah, the only real like hesitation I have with those things is just the inevitable. What is the decision on recast or deep fake and the inevitable fights about it?
Sure,
as it
yeah.
happens, right?
Yeah, and like I could see where it's like, well, we can go with the recast now for Luke, but also it's like, well, you already did this with Luke, so what do you want to do now?
Yeah.
You know, do you try to keep it the same, or I don't know.
All right, guys. Well, we have a little bit over 10 minutes here to jump into some of the questions. Do we have any questions? And if you haven't got yours in, try to get them in.
New Gen Nerd.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a minor antagonist that you would love a novel or comic about? Personally, I would love a story about Malicos from Jedi Fallen Order,
Ooh.
about how he survived Order 66 on Dathomir.
Oh, that would be pretty cool. A novel or a comic. Hell, give me like an animated short so that we can have what's his name? Weather Wizard, Spartacus.
Liam
McIntyre?
Is that one?
Yeah, he played and did the motion capture for Malicos, so you could get him to come back in there and do some stuff. That would be
really cool.
Is there a minor antagonist? Does it count to say Imbo? I mean, he's definitely an antagonist. Sometimes, you know, when he was trying to kill like Padme or whatever in that retreat.
Yeah,
in Clone Wars,
snowboarding down the mountain.
You know, he's a bounty hunter. He kind of like it's whoever's really paying him. But I always am gonna put Imbo up there as somebody that I want to see more of, especially in live action. That would be cool.
Trying to think of different like minor antagonists out there that I'm like, oh, I'd love to see more of this. Does it have to be the canon things? Or
No,
can it be
it could
like
be anything
other
you want,
things
man.
that like haven't seen? Because what I would love to see, I never experienced in the books. I'd like to see the Yuzhang Vong.
Ooh, yeah.
Just because I've always heard about him and the concept always sounded really cool.
Yeah, they're on your periphery though. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, whoever maybe the leader of them is, you know. But that might have been not minor. It might have been a major antagonist. I don't know how they were in the books. But I think the species would be interesting to deal with or see like what they can do and like the organic like tech that they have.
If only to not have to, but get to watch Jedi operate without an effective use of the Force.
Yeah,
The Vong aren't affected by the Force.
yeah, that could be cool.
And then their weapons are just so interesting. They're called ampy staffs, and they're like living
Snakes, right?
They're like living snakes
Yeah.
that freeze into place to form weapons.
Yeah,
They're really cool.
I've heard about that talking with like some friends and stuff about different things because they used to read EU
New
a
Jedi
lot
Order,
back in the
yeah.
Legends and stuff too, and talk to me about different things from that. And I'm like, that always sounded really neat, and I'd like to know more about that.
Yeah.
Besides that, I just always want like Knights of the Old Republic stuff too, because of SWTOR and different things.
Sure.
And I'd love like a live action or an animation or anything about like Darth Malgus. I think he would be a cool character. I love him in SWTOR.
Sure.
But like that's like not canon anymore. So I
Yeah.
guess my stuff that I'm pulling from is like not canon stuff that I'd love to see in the canon, versus being like I don't know, Dryden Voss could be kind of cool, or maybe something a little bit more with shoot, what's his name? Is it Beck? Woody Harrelson?
Tobias
Beckett. Maybe something a little bit more with him, like before, like Solo, like what he used to do. Or
Yeah,
where
I
he's
want to see
been,
him
you
push
know?
Aurra Sing off that cliff.
Yeah, right. The fall killed her. Yeah, some stuff like that.
Aurra Sing is always a character I want to see more of too.
I guess,
Like I said, we were just watching the Boba Fett's Revenge arc is coming up on Wave Squadron, and Aurra Sing is a mentor to Boba there.
I guess there's always like any of the bounty hunters that are like, you know, they're not necessarily antagonists, they're doing it for money. So like when you have like, getting to see more like Bosk or IG-88, like I always heard like fun stories about IG-88, but like you never get to see him do anything in the movies.
The Knights of Ren.
Oh, the Knights of
That
Ren,
would be
yeah.
good.
What is their story?
Weirdly enough, I don't know if you've seen them all or whatever, but one of the Lego Halloween specials has a lot of Knights of Ren lore.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of the Lego Star Wars, I don't think.
We might have to watch one of those. Maybe we'll watch it for October or something
Yeah.
on Wave Squadron.
That could be cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think those would be kind of cool. Question from Dr. Weirdness says, don't know if this scene was mentioned already, but Luke in A New Hope looking at the two sunsets in Tatooine with John Williams music playing brings a tear to my eye.
Yeah.
I understand,
Yeah,
Dr.
we
Weirdness.
talked about it, but that lone French horn playing, there's something about that scene where it's it's a call to adventure. It's a look onto the horizon and imagine what is out there. But for Luke in that moment, there's this moment of that stuff's out there, but I'll never see it. But the lone French horn is like the Force, telling Luke, no, you will, just not yet. I think that's a really beautiful scene. But I bring a lot of baggage to it, 30 years later.
Well, yeah, now.
Yeah.
That's why when we
40
talked
years
about it a
later.
little bit, I was like, you know what? I think watching it the first time, it's oh, that's nice. But I think on rewatches and understanding more things, you're like, oh man, what is this? What is this moment meaning?
Mm-hmm.
So, Tehran Barham James.
Mm-hmm.
If you were a Jedi Padawan, what Jedi would you want as your Jedi Master,
Oh.
and why?
Man.
Is it Qui-Gon?
There's so many good answers to this.
They didn't say why is it Qui-Gon. I added that part in there, but I don't know. Qui-Gon I always think is a good one to pick.
Qui-Gon is
I
amazing.
really liked Qui-Gon. I also talked earlier about my bias of the prequels, I think more so, where that was me as a young kid. Oh, this is so good. And Qui-Gon, I only got a little bit of,
Yeah. He doesn't put up with the bullcrap of the Jedi Council, and that's my favorite part about him.
Yeah.
If he thinks that a decision that you made or that he made actually works, he doesn't bow to authority, and I have a lot of respect for that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's firmly rooted in the cosmic force.
I love the in the moment.
Oh, I'm sorry, the living force.
Yeah, the living force. In the moment where we're at right now. Don't focus about the other stuff,
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. And he's one of the first Jedi to have that after life, being in the Force, still able to communicate with you and stuff too. And that's because of his just in the moment and his living Force connections and stuff too,
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other Jedi that'd be really cool. I don't know, Quinlan might be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, he could be cool. I would want to have psychometry as well.
Oh,
I would hate to not have a power that he has all the time.
no,
And
he's touching things,
and that
telling you
no
what it
matter
is.
how much I try, I can't do. That would screw me up as a pupil of his. We don't get we only get one episode with him, but Master Sunube,
Sunube, okay,
the elder Jedi, retired Jedi Master that helps Ahsoka find her lost lightsaber. I just love his speed. Because he's like anti-Jason, where you never see him run, but he's always a step ahead of you.
Yeah, right. He's always there.
I feel like
How'd
there's
you
so
do
much wisdom in characters like Yoda, Sunube, that have life experience. Not just that they have a lot of life experience, but they have so much that I will never have. That it's almost like cheat codes to be able to be hey, what's really important in life? Because I think a lot of people get to the end of their lives and they're like, I have all these regrets, but they've lived so many lives, if you think about in terms of how long they've lived.
Yeah.
That they probably have. It's a lot. They're probably great at giving advice for everyday things. Not just the big things, but the small things too.
Is there any other ones that are Ahsoka and Kanan, or
I mean,
I'm
I'd
trying to think of some other ones.
Sindralig, so I could be the
Sindralig.
best lightsaber fighter ever. The battle master of the Jedi Temple being my master would be pretty
Sure.
sweet.
Is there a scenario in which okay, well I'm gonna go with Anakin so I can learn to pilot better, is there a thing where it's hopefully going with these Jedi, like you said, Quinlan, if I go with Quinlan, will I learn psychometry better? Or
Anakin
something,
was master to one of the very few Jedi that survived Order 66 by the grace of his training, so that's not a bad master to have.
Sure, and Ahsoka, in the same sense, because of the training from her master, kept her alive as well through Order 66. I love that connection as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of them. I'd probably go with I'd probably go with Qui-Gon. It'd probably be my first guess, first thought.
And then just Aayla Secura. We'll hang around it a little bit more.
Mine's Adigalia.
Okay.
I
will say though, Plo Koon would be pretty sweet.
Sure, yeah.
He's a pretty sweet dude.
I do like Aayla and Addy both, though, so I don't know.
I guess the list is better. Like, what ones would I not want to have? I wouldn't really go for Mace Windu.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't go for like Pong Krell.
Rancius.
Why not?
I don't know. He's a snake, and I don't like snakes very much.
So xenophobic, Aaron.
It's yeah, I guess.
I said Tsunobe just so I don't have to hustle ever.
I'm trying to think of who is there that I wouldn't want to be? Did Jocasta Nu ever? She was never a master, was she?
She was.
I don't want her.
Yeah, she used to sit on the Jedi Council. She's older now, so she's retired and now she's the library.
I wouldn't want her.
She's pretty cool though.
I don't know. She's kind of. I think
in the movie I see, but
I think in similar reasons why I don't want Mace Windu. I don't think I want her.
Okay.
It doesn't exist. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
get you. It is fairly dogmatic of her to say something.
Yeah.
Like that. It's like, well, you don't know that. It could be out there and we just don't know.
Yeah, you don't know it exists?
Yeah.
Come on now. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of anyone else, but that's all I got for who I wouldn't want to be my master. Because isn't there time, we went through the, oh man, this would be spoilers, I suppose, but there was a Jedi that we saw, and it's like, oh man, this Jedi had this stuff happen to them. You want them as your master?
What is it?
it was in a comic that we did.
Oh, we did comics.
That master
They've
went
seen
through
it.
this and this, and that sounds crazy. You do not want them to
you
be
don't
your
want that.
master. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh man. But is there anyone like that? I don't know for sure.
Sure.
Trying to think of someone like that.
Yeah.
I don't want Barriss Offee to ever be my master, I don't think.
But that one Tales of the Empire, she gets better.
Yeah, it's later, I guess. But maybe not Luminara?
Maybe not Luminara. She'll leave you.
You're
buried.
buried. You're done.
Yeah, like they weren't even dead yet, and she's like, "Well, dude, Jancy was so mad at her. Like she almost wrote off all Jedi because of Luminara.
All Jedi?
Like the Jedi suck. Why would you do this?
They're not all like that.
I know, but she was so angry, and I get it, That is probably one of the Jedi character choices or decisions that I disagree with the most. I was like, already?
Yeah.
They're not even dead yet.
It
You
just
can at least
happened.
try. I mean, it really shows how much Anakin's like, I'm not going to do that. Of course I'm going to do everything I can. But, like, Luminara, like, looks down at Anakin for thinking that he could still save his Padawan in a way,
Sure.
Strange.
Well, and it also, I know one I don't want. I don't want Pong Krell.
Well, I did say him earlier.
Did you say
but
Pong Krell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't
he,
want Pong Krell. Sorry.
I wouldn't want him either. Also, like,
But
if I'm having my master train me in lightsaber combat, it's going to be hard for him to, like, okay, use your other arm. What? I don't have another arm.
Leave me another arm. But yeah, I was just thinking about, like, if it would have been clones and stuff too. Like, that was one of the things why, like, Anakin would be good.
Yeah.
Like, he was always there for whoever he could be for. Whereas, like, some
loyal.
Jedi, especially like Pong Krell, was why I was thinking about it. They were tools, and that's what they were, and they weren't people, and But Yoda also, like, oh no, you're all individuals, and I will fight for you and protect you. And I always felt good about Yoda, but there's some Jedi. That's why I'm like, not all Jedi. I think there are some Jedi where it's like, I don't know about them, but yeah, I don't know.
Bailey Silver says, Eric, who is your favorite character? And Aaron, same for you.
Oh, we're all out of time, so no, we can answer this, and then this might be our last one.
Yeah, it's going to be our last one. I mean, it's cheating to say Anakin just because I get to smuggle two characters in there with Anakin and Darth Vader and the World Between Worlds Anakin, which is a thing, I believe. I believe it's actually him and not a projection of Ahsoka, but maybe that's something we'll see in Ahsoka Season 2.
Sure, but I also feel like it's not a third. It's just kind of like, I don't know. It's a continuation. There's Anakin, and then he had a Darth Vader like phase, and then after that phase, he was this.
Maybe. Do you think Darth Vader is not present in that presentation of Anakin?
I mean, you could say like Darth Vader is like almost another entity, and that kind of goes with like, oh well, why does he look like this in the World Between Worlds?
Sure.
Like, well, why did he look like Anakin as a Force ghost?
Yeah.
As opposed to looking like old bald Darth Vader.
Sure.
Like
I get you.
There's
a part of me that's like, because I get what you mean. Like Anakin Skywalker returns and then he dies, right? But there's a part of me that's like, maybe to be the chosen one, to be the father, he had to go through being
had to
Darth
be
Vader,
both?
you
Sure.
know? So that'd be maybe we'll have to bring that up in a debate or something.
Talk about
Is
the-
there a third Anakin Skywalker character? I don't
Sure.
know.
Well, and is Darth Vader Anakin or is Darth Vader someone else? Right? Because that's
Sure.
also kind of like
That's probably our bigger debate.
yeah.
We've talked about it before, but I
Yeah.
could talk about that forever. Because catch me on a different day, I'll say something different.
Sure.
Yeah.
I killed him. You know,
Yeah.
like yeah. Favorite character, man. I don't know. It's so hard to pick favorite characters in Star Wars because there's so many and at different times. Like, you know, when I'm watching Mandalorian, like I really like the Mandalorian. I really like Grogu, but like, are they my favorite character if I count all characters in Star Wars? Like, I don't know. Maybe someone else is my favorite character.
Ahsoka Tano, one of my favorites.
Ahsoka has grown a lot
Mhm.
for me, and I think for the Star Wars community, which is awesome because like it went from Clone Wars coming out and people being like, an apprentice, this is stupid. He never had an apprentice. He wasn't even a master yet. You know, he was an apprentice, and I don't know, like she's done so much. People got so attached to her. Her story's been so good. I like Rosario Dawson,
Yep.
you know, as well, portraying. She may be my favorite of like newer Star Wars in general. I might go with like Obi-Wan,
Sure.
and as I just like I love Ewan and I love Alec Guinness and like just the story of Obi-Wan as a whole. But Ahsoka may be one of my favorite of like newer Star Wars characters.
Sure.
I think.
I don't mean to be a debate bro, but like I have to like really think about what the word favorite means. Because if it's just like whenever they appear, how do I feel? Like characters like Hondo Anaka go up there as well. Like every time he shows up and I hear his voice, I'm delighted and the episode's better for it, you know?
Sure.
So
No,
stuff like that.
we
too.
should rank our top 10 favorite Star Wars characters.
As long as we have clear and objective
No, there's
standards.
no. You just who's your favorite? 10,
What
not your
are
favorite
the
10 Jedi.
rules?
Just who
What
are your
are the
10? Pick 10 of
rules?
your favorite characters and rank them. And then you can be like, oh man, because like I get what you mean. Like I was so excited for Cad Bane to show up, and he's definitely like one of my like I really like Cad Bane, but like where does he fit among like everyone else in the Star Wars galaxy? Because there's so many good characters, and there's some characters I don't necessarily care about. I like Max Rebo when he shows up. Oh, look, it's Max Rebo. But like, is he my favorite? You
Just
know,
saying,
like,
if you
I
don't
know.
give me standards and rules, I'll go crazy.
You need 10.
Does the Falcon count?
No,
Why not?
because it's not a
They have
character.
a clear personality.
No, you can pick out 3.
L3
You can
is
pick
in
out
there?
3.
Does the Force count?
No.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the standards that you give me. Ha!
What do you mean? It's not a character.
Ha!
Guys, that's going to be all for Badonkagonk today. As mentioned, we will be back. Oh, man, what did I mention?
September 25th.
You wrote it down? Good.
Yes, sir.
I did not write it down. So September 25th, and that will be covering a Bad Batch book.
Called Sanctuary, by
Sanctuary.
Lamar Giles. So go
Sanctuary.
get that book and read it off the page, off your Kindle, or you can listen to the audiobook.
Yes. So, and I think that's everything for today. So I hope you guys had fun. We enjoyed talking Star Wars with you guys, and thank you so much for the questions. And sorry we didn't get to everyone's questions, but we'll get to more questions in the future at some point. So we will catch you guys next time. Until then, may the Force be with you.
Always.